8 signs she's totally into you even if she won't say it. Old Stoic wisdom. True love is not about perfection. It is about seeing someone's imperfections and deciding to love them anyway. Unknown. Have you ever left a conversation with a woman and found yourself thinking, did she like me? You replay the moments in your mind, the smile she gave you, the way her eyes lingered just a little longer than usual, the slight touch on your arm. But then, doubt sets in. Was I just imagining it? Or was there something more behind those actions? Here's the truth. Attraction is rarely as loud as we expect it to be. It's not about grand gestures or exaggerated flirtation. More often than not, it's found in the small, subtle signs, the brief glances, the half smiles, and those little touches that seem innocent until you recognize them for what they really are. Once you learn to understand these silent signals, it's like gaining the ability to read between the lines of human interaction. You'll never again second-guess whether she sees you as a friend or something more. Welcome to Old Stoic Wisdom, where we dive deep into real, practical advice about love, relationships, and human behavior. Today, we're unpacking the 8 key signs that show a woman is attracted to you, including a bonus sign that most men overlook completely. Let's get started. Sign number 1. She smirks or gives playful half smiles. Let's get one thing clear. She's not going to offer you a wide, toothy grin like you're the life of the party. No, when a woman is genuinely interested in you, she plays it cool. She holds back. The smile she gives you isn't obvious. It's subtle. It's a smirk, a sly, almost mischievous look that makes you wonder what's going on behind those eyes. It's the kind of smile that pulls you in without giving everything away, keeping you hanging on the edge of curiosity. You crack a joke, and instead of erupting into laughter, she gives you a slow, knowing smirk. She's not indifferent. Oh no, far from it. This is strategic flirtation at its finest, a move designed to make you think about her long after the moment has passed. That smirk, it's a mystery wrapped in a grin. It's a signal, not just a gesture of friendliness. It draws you in, subtly letting you know that she's interested, but she's not going to make it easy. This isn't just casual interaction. This is an invitation to lean in, to decipher what's going on. A study in the Journal of Nonverbal Behavior confirms that these small, elusive smiles actually increase attraction. Why? Because they spark curiosity. And curiosity? Well, that's the beginning of desire. When she gives you that soft, enigmatic smile, she's watching to see if you'll notice it. She's testing the waters, giving you just enough to keep your attention, but not so much that she makes herself too available. So pay attention. That sideways grin. It's her way of saying, I've noticed you. Now, I'm waiting to see if you'll take the bait. This is where the modern Stoic comes in. The ability to read between the lines, to understand the subtle signs of attraction without rushing in. She's not going to lay it all out for you. She wants you to engage with her, to lean into the moment, just as a true modern Stoic would do when faced with a puzzle. It's a quiet blessing of Stoicism, being able to navigate these unspoken signals, to remain composed and understand that sometimes the most meaningful connections are built in the smallest, most mysterious of gestures. So, the next time you see that half smile, don't just brush it off. It's not random. It's a message, a signal to you, but also a challenge. Are you paying attention? Are you man enough to recognize the signs? This is the game. You must stay alert. You must observe. Don't miss the chance to decode the signals. In the end, it's the Stoic man who notices, who doesn't rush, and who builds a deeper connection through the art of subtlety. Sign number 2. She holds her gaze slightly longer. Eye contact. It's one of the most powerful tools in human interaction. When a woman is attracted to you, her eyes will say it before her words even think about coming out of her mouth. But let's be clear. This isn't about locking eyes in some intense, Hollywood-style staring contest. No, it's far more subtle than that. It's about that extra second, the one where her eyes linger just a little too long. the silence that follows, thick with unspoken energy. That is the moment when everything else fades, and you realize there's something more at play, something unspoken hanging in the air between you two. Now, you must understand, this isn't a random glance. No, it's purposeful. A study published in the Journal of Research and Personality revealed something fascinating. When mutual eye contact lasts for more than 3 seconds, oxytocin is released. That's the bonding hormone, the same one that makes us feel closer to someone. Think about that for a second, her gaze. Just those brief moments could be literally creating a bond between you two before a single word is even exchanged. Her eyes are silently whispering, "I'm interested." You may not hear it, but you must feel it. So, pay attention, because this is where the old Stoic wisdom comes into play. The Stoic life teaches us to observe, to be present, and not to rush to conclusions. Watch how she breaks that eye contact. Does she look away quickly, pretending it never happened? Maybe she's shy, unsure, or testing the waters. But if she looks away and then looks back at you, or better yet, flashes a slight smile when your eyes meet again, that's a green light. My friend, that's a signal she's sending, an invitation to move closer, an acknowledgement of connection. It's her way of saying, "I see you," and crucially, she's telling you she doesn't mind that you see her too. This is where Stoicism really shines. Understanding these signals, not jumping to conclusions, not rushing in, but calmly observing. The Stoic lessons of patience and mindfulness can serve you well here. You must not ignore the power of the quiet moments. You must recognize that sometimes the most meaningful connections are made in the briefest of exchanges, in the lingering glance that speaks louder than words ever could. A man who understands the Stoic life knows that connection is built through subtlety, through awareness of the moments most others might miss. Don't mistake her extended gaze for mere politeness. That's not what this is. It's not just a random look. She's trying to tell you something, but you have to be willing to pay attention. You must read between the lines, grasp the context, and understand that not all communication is verbal. In the world of Stoicism, we learn that what's left unsaid is often just as important as what's spoken. It's the silence that carries weight, the pause that means everything. So the next time her gaze lingers a little longer than usual, don't just brush it off. Don't be oblivious. Be present. That extended eye contact. It's a gift, a signal of interest, a moment of connection. It's her way of saying, "I'm here and I'm interested." It's up to you to recognize it and to take the next step with the quiet confidence that comes from understanding these subtle Stoic lessons. Pay attention, stay calm, and let the silence work for you. If you found this insight valuable, don't forget to like, comment below, and share this with someone who could benefit from understanding the power of subtle connection. Remember, the Stoic way is about observing the signs, not rushing in. Comment below to affirm, "I embrace the power of subtle connection." And don't forget to subscribe for more timeless wisdom. Sign number 3. Her voice softens or changes around you. Understand this attraction is not just in the words a woman speaks. It's in the nuances, the unspoken signals that are often missed. Women, by nature, possess an innate ability to communicate without words. And one of the most powerful tools they wield is their voice. If a woman is drawn to you, you'll notice her tone shifting. It's not something she plans or consciously controls. It's an instinctive response. As Marcus Aurelius once said, "The best way to avenge yourself is to not be like that." This resonates with what you need to understand about the subtle cues she's giving, her tone, her rhythm, and the very pitch of her voice. These change when she's in your presence. This shift in her vocal tone reflects the nature of your connection, whether it's intimacy, confidence, excitement, or playfulness. Lower tones often signal closeness and intimacy, suggesting she's comfortable and open with you. Higher, more playful tones might surface when she's excited, amused, or testing the waters of flirtation. As you listen closely, you'll catch the shift. She could be speaking to others in a neutral, unaffected manner, but when she turns to you, everything changes. Her words slow down, her laughter becomes more frequent, and her voice carries a certain warmth. It's as if the conversation itself has a new rhythm, as though you're both dancing to a melody only you two can hear. And when her laughter becomes easier, more natural, even at your simplest jokes, it's not about you being a comedian, it's because you've made her feel something deeper. You've created an atmosphere where she can be vulnerable, let go of her guard, and experience a genuine connection. It's the small, unintentional changes that mark the beginning of something significant. It's this kind of emotional leaning in that we see in Stoic principles, where one must align their emotions and actions with truth. You must pay attention to the subtle changes around you. This is the wisdom of the Stoics, learning to observe, understand, and respond accordingly. Don't overanalyze or overthink. Just observe, understand, and take action. You must sharpen your awareness, for the more you notice, the more you'll realize that the path to understanding her doesn't lie in grand gestures, but in these quiet, powerful moments. Life rewards those who observe, who listen, who understand the deeper currents beneath the surface. Just as Marcus Aurelius spoke of the importance of focus and clarity, so must you focus on these details. These cues, in life and in attraction, it's the details that make the difference. So, as you engage with her, remember, don't expect words to always spell out her feelings. Let the shift in her voice tell you all you need to know. It's the Stoic way of living and loving, observing, responding, and mastering the art of connection. Sign number 4. Talk about your physical features indirectly. When a woman talks about your physical features, but does so indirectly, pay close attention. Women rarely come out and say, "You're hot," because it's too blunt and exposes vulnerability. Instead, they take a more subtle route, carefully phrasing their observations to express interest while keeping some emotional distance. For example, she might casually mention, "That shirt really suits you," or "You have really kind eyes," or maybe, "I've never seen anyone pull off that haircut before." These aren't just random comments. They are deliberate, thoughtful remarks designed to let you know she's paying attention without fully exposing her feelings. Why? Because direct compliments, while flattering, can feel like an emotional risk. She might not be ready to fully reveal how much she's noticing, so she keeps it cool and composed. By focusing on small details, she can convey a message that you've caught her attention, while still keeping a bit of emotional cover. Now, take a moment to notice the deeper layer. When she says, "You smell really nice," or "You always seem so calm." These aren't just polite niceties, they're specific, almost magnetic observations. It's not just that you're attractive in some generic sense, but she's noticing and appreciating what makes you, well, you. This is no random compliment. It's a calculated nod to the qualities that set you apart in her eyes. And let's not forget those comparisons. "You remind me of that guy from that movie. What's his name? The handsome one." Or, "You kind of have that rugged, old-school gentleman vibe." These are coded messages wrapped in casual curiosity, further signalling her interest. The beauty of these remarks is in their specificity. She isn't making broad statements. She's zeroing in on the things that she finds uniquely appealing in you. And that's not something she does unless you're already on her radar in a significant way. As the modern Stoic knows, attention to detail and mindfulness are key to understanding the subtle signals that others might miss. The blessing of Stoicism lies in being aware and present, understanding that every small action or comment is a reflection of something deeper. It's these small, seemingly innocent remarks that can reveal much about her feelings. So, if you're noticing that she's paying special attention to the little things about you, your looks, your style, the way you carry yourself, it's not just coincidence. She's letting you know she's interested, but doing so in a way that allows her to stay grounded and guarded. Remember, the power of the modern Stoic lies in patience and understanding, and the signs are often subtle. Keep your eyes open, and you'll begin to recognize that the most meaningful gestures don't come from what's said outright, but from what's conveyed between the lines. Be aware of these signs, because this type of attention is a serious one, and it's there if you choose to see it. If you found this insight valuable, don't forget to like, comment, and share it with someone who could benefit. And remember to subscribe for more powerful wisdom that will elevate your understanding of relationships. Now, let's keep it interactive. Drop a comment below to affirm your confidence and awareness. I am a man who catches every detail. Let's hear from you. Sign number 5. Find excuses to touch you lightly. Physical touch is one of the clearest yet often misunderstood signs of attraction. But here's the truth: if a woman doesn't want to touch you, she won't. Simple as that. Touch is intentional. If she's touching you, even in the smallest way, understand that it carries weight. It's a message in itself. These touches aren't random, and they're definitely not mistakes. It could be as subtle as a quick tap on your shoulder when something's funny. Maybe it's the brush of her fingers against yours when she takes something from your hand, or a playful nudge when you're teasing each other. You might dismiss these small actions as innocent, but believe me, they're not. They're micro-investments in the connection between you two. She's testing the waters. These little touches are her way of signaling that she's comfortable with you, and perhaps more importantly, that she's open to being closer. Picture this. You're both sitting side by side, and she adjusts your collar or casually dusts something off your jacket. She didn't need to do that. The world would have kept turning if she hadn't, but she chose to break the touch barrier. No matter how small the action, that's a sign, a small, deliberate move to close the physical gap. You must pay attention to these moments, because in them, she's telling you that she's comfortable, that she trusts you, and that there's a deeper connection growing. Psychologists call this affiliative touch. Don't confuse this with seduction or dominance. This isn't about trying to make you fall for her. This is about establishing a connection, an emotional bond. When physical touch happens naturally and without hesitation, it's a sign that she feels safe. And when she feels safe, she's drawn to you. And let's be clear, safety is key. If you're the type of man who embodies the strength of Old Stoic wisdom, you'll understand how vital it is to create a space where she feels secure and at ease. That's the essence of Stoic lessons, remaining calm and composed, but also kind and welcoming. Here's a pro tip. If she initiates physical touch once and you respond warmly, it's not a one-off. No, watch closely. You'll see that she'll initiate it again and again. That's the pattern of trust, comfort, and quiet desire being built between you two. It's the natural flow of connection, the kind of bond that doesn't require grand gestures or extravagant words. It's built on small, meaningful acts, rooted in something deeper than surface-level attraction. You see, in a world that often moves too fast, the beauty of the Stoic life is in recognizing the slow, deliberate moments that reveal a lot about where someone stands emotionally. The small, simple touches speak volumes. The stoicism of it all, you must be aware of these subtle moments, because they reveal her comfort and desire without ever saying a word. So don't ignore the power of touch. It's not about the big, bold gestures. It's the gentle nudge, the accidental brush of hands, the small moments where you both share space. That's where the real magic lies. And in those moments, you'll know exactly where you stand. Be mindful of these signs, for they are the touchstones of a connection that's growing. Steadily and quietly, stay aware. Stay present, just as the Stoics would, and you'll see the depth of attraction unfolding right before you. Sign number 6. She adjusts her body language around you. A woman's body doesn't lie. Her body speaks louder than any words she might say, and when she's around someone she finds intriguing, her movements, posture, and even the smallest gestures often shift, revealing more than she may consciously realize. These are instinctive reactions, not calculated behaviors. This is the power of non-verbal communication. When a woman leans in during a conversation, even in a loud, crowded room, it's not just about hearing you better. It's a signal, a sign of trust, comfort, and, most importantly, a desire to connect. This subtle yet powerful action communicates that she is invested in you. It is as though her body is telling you that she is drawn to you, and her energy is aligning with yours. Then there's the head tilt. That small movement may seem innocent, but psychologists have long recognized it as one of the clearest signs of interest. It's not simply curiosity. It's her body's way of saying, I'm fully engaged with you, not just your words, but you as a person. It's the silent language of attraction. And then we have hair play. Whether she twirls a strand around her finger, adjusts her ponytail, or runs her fingers through her hair, it's not merely about looking good. It's a deep-seated, subconscious display of femininity and self-awareness, signaling her attraction. And here's the piece that most men miss: the subtle adjustments to her outfit, the straightening of her back, or the fleeting glance at her reflection in a mirror when you walk into the room. These micro-adjustments aren't made for everyone. They're made for you. Joe Navarro, a former FBI behavioral expert, has studied these types of signals for years. He explains that humans, especially when attracted to someone, naturally try to optimize their appearance. It's as if the body instinctively understands the importance of the moment, and without thinking, it adjusts to ensure it's presenting itself in the best possible way. It's a powerful, silent declaration that she is aware of your presence, and your opinion matters to her. The next time you find yourself in a situation where she mirrors your movements, leans in when you speak, or her face lights up the moment you walk into a room, don't overlook it. She's not simply being polite or friendly, she's telling you something profound. In the language of body language, she's showing you that you matter. You must understand this, and be wise enough to recognize these signals for what they are. Stoic principles teach us that observation is key to understanding and navigating relationships. Marcus Aurelius often spoke of the importance of observing the world as it is, not as we wish it to be. The woman in front of you is revealing more than words can express. When you start to pay attention, you'll see that the body speaks its own truth. You must stay alert, stay aware, and remember that true mastery in life involves recognizing the subtle signals others send. Embrace the power of observation, and you will gain a deeper understanding of those around you, leading to more authentic and meaningful connections. And if you find today's content very interesting, please give me a word of encouragement by commenting "very interesting" in the comments section. That is a huge motivation for us. Thank you. Sign number 7. She becomes more playful around you. When a woman becomes more playful around you, take note, this is a crucial sign she's interested. Playfulness isn't just about light-hearted fun, it's magnetic, disarming, and even strategic. It creates a connection by breaking down barriers and building rapport. It's also a test, one that's been used for centuries by humans and even animals as a way to form deeper bonds. Don't mistake her teasing for anything trivial. It's far from childish. When she flirts with you, challenges you just a bit, or cracks jokes that only the two of you really understand, she's not simply passing time. She's looking to see how you react, how you handle pressure, how you stand your ground. Think of it like a modern Stoic test of your composure. A woman who's into you won't just offer a polite smile or nod. She'll engage. She'll poke fun at you, toss playful jabs your way, or even give you a nickname that's endearing, but just a bit cheeky. This isn't just about breaking the ice. It's about testing your confidence and the depth of your connection. If she laughs at things that aren't particularly hilarious, especially when the laughter seems warm and intimate, you're not just telling jokes, you're stirring emotions. You've crossed a line into a deeper bond where your presence alone feels like a comfort to her. She's letting her guard down. That laughter, the teasing, the playful nudges, they're all her way of saying, let's create a little world just for us. In the world of modern Stoicism, you understand that emotional energy is something sacred. She's investing it in you. You must recognize that this playful dynamic is not only a sign of attraction, but a blessing of Stoicism. It's a quiet way of saying, I trust you enough to test the waters and see how deep we can go. Sign number 8. She compliments you sincerely and specifically. Now, don't mistake a casual nice shirt for anything profound. That's just the kind of comment people toss around when they're being polite. But when she says something like, "That deep blue really brings out your eyes," or "There's something about the way you talk that's really calming," that's a whole different story. It's specific, it's intentional, and it's personal. The difference here is key. It's not a generic compliment, but one born from real observation and genuine admiration. This isn't some surface-level remark thrown your way just to make you feel good. She's noticing the things that truly make you who you are. You must understand that women are often more emotionally nuanced than men when it comes to expressing attraction. Where a man might blurt out, "You're hot," a woman will focus on the details. She'll pick up on things you might not even think about, like the way your voice sounds when you speak slowly, the confidence you exude when you walk into a room, or even the scent that lingers after you leave. These are the things that tell her that you've made a lasting impression. This isn't a case of flattery. These compliments are earned. They're the result of your presence, your energy, and your vibe. The Stoic lessons we often hear about emphasize the importance of how we carry ourselves, of how we stand tall, move with intention, and act with composure. These traits do not go unnoticed. A woman who is genuinely into you won't waste her words. If she's taking the time to compliment something specific about you, something even your closest friends might not point out, it's her way of telling you something profound. "I see you, and what I see, I like." This is the very essence of attraction. She is attuned to the unique qualities that make you, well, you. In the world of Stoicism, this kind of attention to detail and intention is a reflection of the Stoic life, the idea of living with purpose and mindfulness. The old Stoic teachings often encourage us to focus on the present moment and how our actions impact those around us. When a woman takes the time to compliment you in such a specific, personal way, it means she is noticing you, not just as a surface-level person, but for the deeper qualities that are a reflection of your Stoic nature. You must be aware these compliments aren't just about your appearance or your actions in a single moment. They're an acknowledgement of your being. When she notices the way you carry yourself, the way you speak, or the way you make her feel, these are reflections of your inner strength, your grounded nature, and your ability to stay true to yourself. A woman attracted to you isn't just admiring how you look. She's recognizing the essence of your character, the qualities that define you. She sees your Stoic presence, how you handle life's challenges with grace, your confidence that isn't built on arrogance, but on solid, Stoic principles. To be clear, these compliments are not an accident. Women do not waste their words. The specific, intentional compliments she gives you are not just about making you feel good in the moment. They're a sign that she's invested in you emotionally. These kinds of compliments reflect a deeper level of attraction, one that isn't based on superficial traits, but on an appreciation of your core qualities. Remember, the old Stoic wisdom teaches us that our true strength is not in how we appear to others, but in how we maintain our inner composure. In the same way, her compliments are not about your external appearance. They are about how your presence affects her on a deeper level. It's a testament to the fact that your being resonates with her. And that kind of attraction is not something she gives out lightly. She has noticed, and she's making sure you know it. So, you must recognize the significance of these compliments. They're not just words. They are a sign of genuine attraction, a sign that you are standing out in a way that is meaningful to her. In the context of Stoicism, you must understand that being noticed in this way is a reflection of the Stoic life you lead. It's about embodying the Stoic lessons of self-awareness, calmness, and inner strength, traits that women find deeply attractive, even if they don't explicitly say so. You must know that this level of attention is rare and not to be taken lightly. If she's complimenting you in such a thoughtful, personal manner, it's because she's not just seeing you on the outside, she's seeing your soul. Bonus sign: she mirrors your actions without realizing it. In life, you must be able to recognize the subtle signs that reveal whether someone is genuinely into you. One of the most powerful, yet often overlooked, signals of attraction is mirroring. Something women do instinctively when they are drawn to someone, When a woman mirrors your actions, she's not trying to send a signal, and she's likely unaware it's even happening. Her body, however, is responding in ways that reflect a deeper emotional connection. Picture this. You take a sip of your drink, and moments later, she does the same. You cross your arms, and soon after, she mirrors the posture. You scratch your chin. And almost immediately, she touches her face in a similar way. This is not coincidence, this is mirroring at play. It's a subtle dance that indicates her brain has created an alignment with you. According to Stoic principles, we must observe the behaviors of others carefully and understand their true intentions. This is a skill all men can hone. Just as Marcus Aurelius emphasized the importance of self-awareness and understanding in his meditations, so too must we be alert to the dynamics around us. Research shows that mirroring is a primal bonding behavior, your brain's way of signaling safety, trust, and the desire for connection. When someone mirrors you, they're saying, "I'm comfortable with you. I'm aligned with you." It's a real, honest sign that trust is being formed. And that's what makes it so powerful. You can't fake it. You can't force it. It only happens when there is genuine emotional resonance. Take a moment to think about this. Next time you're talking to a woman, change your posture, cross your leg, lean to one side, touch your chin, and wait. If she mirrors you even subtly, understand this. She's not just engaged in the conversation, she's attracted to you. Master this skill, and you'll see the world around you differently. Don't dismiss the signs. The Stoic teachings remind us that every action, every subtle movement carries meaning. Be alert, be decisive. You are capable of reading these signals and using them to navigate the complexities of attraction. The world won't wait for you to figure it out. It's time to take control. The wisdom is there, and the signs are everywhere. Notice them, act on them, and build the connections you deserve. Let's recap the 8 clear signs plus 1 bonus. Let's break it down. My friend, 8 unmistakable signs plus 1 bonus. All you need to spot if she's truly into you, even if she doesn't say a word. This, right here, is the toolkit that most men go their entire lives without the ability to see when a woman is genuinely attracted to you without her having to drop any hints. Don't miss out. You must learn to recognize these signals because they are powerful, and they'll give you a quiet, unshakable confidence. First, observe her smirk or playful half smiles. There's a mystery in her eyes, an unspoken curiosity that says more than words ever could. She's keeping it light, but deeply intrigued. Don't overlook it. Then there's the moment her gaze holds a bit longer than usual. That split second is not by accident. It's a silent bridge of connection that only the modern Stoic can truly appreciate. You must understand that it's not about her looking at you. It's about how long and how deep her eyes linger. Pay attention, because that's a signal you can't afford to miss. Her voice also softens or subtly changes when you're around. This isn't just her being polite, it's intimacy in tone, a subconscious reflection of emotional comfort and closeness. You have to realize that her changing voice is a blessing of Stoicism, a quiet acknowledgement that she's letting you into her world in a subtle, profound way. Then, there are those moments when she gives you indirect compliments about your physical appearance. You must recognize the delicate dance here. She's not just praising you, she's protecting her vulnerability. These compliments are her way of showing she sees you, admires you, but still holds back a little for her own sense of safety. It's not about her lack of interest. It's about her careful navigation of emotions. Next, take note when she finds excuses to touch you lightly. Every light touch, whether it's a hand on your arm or a brush on your shoulder, is a way for her to bridge emotional energy through physical contact. This is no random act. This is a moment of connection that speaks volumes, and you must take it in stride. If she's adjusting her body language, opening up to you, that's another clear sign. It's the blessing of Stoicism again. She's showing you comfort, attention, and yes, attraction, all without saying a word. Her posture, her movements, everything adjusts when she's near you. Be alert to it. It's a sign you're under her radar. As she becomes more playful, teasing and joking with you, you've entered the realm of emotional testing and bonding. That playful banter isn't just for fun. It's her way of testing the waters, gauging your emotional resonance. Don't shy away from this. It's a step toward a deeper connection. And when she compliments you with sincerity and specificity, that's intentional. This is no generic flattery. These are real, emotionally invested observations that show she notices the details about you, your energy, your confidence, your presence. That is the true essence of attraction. It's deeper than physical looks. Finally, the bonus: she mirrors your movements and mannerisms. This isn't just coincidence. It's a psychological echo of attraction, a subtle mimicry that shows she's deeply in tune with you, your rhythm, your energy. You must understand that all of these signs point to something bigger than just chemistry. They reveal an emotional connection, a silent, powerful attraction, the kind that doesn't chase, but rather draws you in. So the next time she smiles a little differently, twirls her hair, or touches your arm when she laughs, don't question it. Recognize the power of presence and awareness, and know that you're stepping into a different kind of power yourself. A modern Stoic power, the kind that doesn't need to chase, but instead notices, attracts, and responds with grace. When you learn to notice these signs, you'll find that attraction isn't about loud gestures or flashy lines. It's about presence, understanding, and a quiet confidence. Hey there, thanks for sticking with me till the end. Now, here's the deal. If you've picked up on those subtle signs and you see a woman showing genuine interest but not saying it outright, remember this. Actions speak louder than words. Trust the signals you're getting, but always be patient and give her the space to open up when she's ready. Authentic connections grow in their own time. Now, over to you. If this video helped you see things more clearly, we'd love to know you're part of the real ones. Drop a heart emoji in the comments to let us know you watched till the end. It tells us you're paying attention, and it keeps this community strong. And hey, if you enjoyed this, hit that like button. It's free, and it means the world to us. Subscribe for more daily, psychology-backed insights on love, attraction, and the mind of women. And before you go, we've handpicked the perfect next video for you. It's showing up on your screen right now. Go ahead, click it. You're not done growing yet. We'll see you there. Walk alone, rise alone, win alone. They'll regret leaving you. Old Stoic wisdom. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step, and often, that first step is taken alone. Lao Tzu. In every man's life, there comes a moment of truth when the noise of the world fades, the applause quiets, and all that's left is a void. That silence is not defeat. It's the beginning of something far more profound. The real journey does not lie in the moments others witness, but in those quiet, solitary times that shape your true character. It's then, in the silence, that you face who you really are, your thoughts, your discipline, and your choices. When the crowd dissipates, there's no stage to stand on. There's no praise, no spotlight. It's just you and the essence of your being. The Stoics understood this deeply. They weren't driven by the need for external recognition, fleeting comfort, or the approval of others. Their quest was far more significant mastery of self. And that mastery isn't something you can find in the comfort of numbers, in the clamour of popularity. It is forged in the silence of your own thoughts and the solitude of personal responsibility. Walking alone doesn't mean isolation for isolation's sake. It means shedding the illusions that others might place upon you, facing the harsh truth of your own nature, and stepping into the unknown with only your integrity to guide you. To rise alone is to reject the easy distractions of the world, the fleeting comforts, the temporary indulgences, and instead to build inner strength from discipline, focus, and resilience. This rise isn't grand or obvious, but steady and deep. It's the quiet work that goes unnoticed by most, yet it's the truest form of strength. Winning alone isn't about accolades or fame. It's about the quiet victory of mastering your emotions, your focus, and your character. This is the kind of victory that doesn't need to be paraded in front of others. It's the peace that comes from living according to principles, not impulses. This path isn't for the weak. It requires more than ambition. It requires transformation. It demands the courage to stand firm when others falter, to press on when no one is watching, when there's no one to cheer you on, no applause to drive you. But in the end, this is the only true path to freedom. The kind of freedom that's unshakable because it's rooted in your soul and cannot be taken away. If you want to be unbreakable, as the Stoics taught, you must first walk alone. Chapter 1. Walk alone. The first step to inner clarity. The first step towards clarity begins with walking alone. This isn't a punishment. It's a powerful invitation, an invitation to return to yourself, to the voice inside that's been buried under the noise of life. When you distance yourself from the distractions of society, you'll hear something deeper than all the external chatter, the voice of your conscience, of virtue, of reason. This voice is faint at first, drowned out by the world, but as you remove the clutter, it will grow stronger, clearer. The modern Stoic understands this solitude isn't about isolation, it's about introspection. Marcus Aurelius wisely said, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." This sacred solitude isn't about escape, it's about reflection. This isn't about abandoning the world, it's about detaching from it, finding truth within yourself, and reconnecting with what's important. Too often, we're held captive by relationships, habits, and societal expectations that drown out our own potential. We rely on others to tell us who we are, seeking validation instead of true alignment. We mistakenly confuse loneliness with failure and solitude with exile. But to the modern Stoic, being alone doesn't signify being abandoned. It signifies alignment, freedom, and power. When you walk alone, you stop seeking direction from others. You stop letting external voices dictate your path, your purpose, your decisions. You begin to reclaim your intentions, your voice, your integrity. You stop living for others and start living for the principles that truly define you. It's not a soft, easy walk. It's a demanding journey grounded in your own values. Walking alone means making tough choices even when they alienate you from comfort. It's standing by your truth when it's unpopular, inconvenient, or costly. It's confronting your fears, not in the support of others, but in the raw, powerful presence of your own being. It's standing before the mirror, not to admire, but to examine and grow. In those moments of solitude, in that quiet resistance, you begin to cultivate a strength that cannot be borrowed or bought. You stop depending on fleeting companions, on temporary comfort, and start building something permanent, formidable, and whole. In the beginning, the path may seem lonely, but it is never empty. In solitude, you rediscover the ancient teachers within your intuition, your reason, your resilience. These are not fleeting emotions. They are the guiding forces of your soul, drowned out by the distractions of comparison and the addiction to validation. When you walk alone, these inner voices return, not with fanfare, but with clarity. You begin to understand how little you truly need, and how much you've given away chasing after things that never really nourished your soul. You learn to walk through discomfort without the need to be rescued from it. You stop avoiding the hard, uncomfortable conversations with yourself, instead facing your doubts head-on with resolve. That's when true healing begins. You'll come to realize that peace doesn't require consensus. You don't need the approval of others to find inner tranquility. You'll be able to sit still, even in the storm, because you've built an inner shelter through discipline and introspection. In practical terms, this means setting boundaries, even if others don't understand. It means saying no to things that once gave you status, but stole your peace. It means choosing growth over fitting in, again and again. It's staying home to work when others are out seeking escape, rising early to reflect before the world adds its noise. It's about doing what matters, even when no one is watching. Walking alone is also about doing the deeper work, the work that others don't see. It's stopping the search for pity and starting the search for progress. It's asking yourself, what lesson is this pain trying to teach me? Solitude is not a void to be feared. It's a forge. It's where your rough edges are smoothed by discipline and your fears are melted by repetition. It's about ceasing the pursuit of understanding from others and beginning to understand yourself. True strength is not about needing others to move forward. It's about being strong enough to walk on purpose, even when the road is silent and the journey is long. Until you are enough for your own journey, you'll always feel incomplete in the presence of others. The Stoic blessing of solitude, of walking alone, is where values become decisions, and decisions become your path. It's where you prepare yourself to walk not just with others, but with purpose. Until you've mastered walking alone, you aren't ready to walk with anyone else. Chapter 2. Rise alone. Strength built in silence. To rise alone is to rise without the sound of applause. There's no crowd to witness your quiet victories, no cameras to capture your sacrifices, no applause to echo through the air when you make the hard choice. The world will overlook your struggle, and that's exactly where the Old Stoic finds their strength, in the darkness, in the discomfort, in those invisible hours when nobody is watching. It's in these moments that true strength is born, not in the spotlight, but in the quiet moments where your resolve alone stands. And that's the beauty of it. Rising alone means acting without external validation. You're not doing it for approval, status, or recognition. You're doing it because something within refuses to settle. There's a voice deep inside that understands comfort is just a gilded cage, and the only way out is through effort that's quiet, relentless, and deeply personal. Even when no one is looking, your future self will thank you for not giving up when no one was watching. This is the essence of the Stoic life. The path may be lonely, but it's never meaningless. Remember Epictetus's words. If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. He wasn't advocating for ignorance, but for the detachment from appearances. The Stoic path doesn't perform for applause. It doesn't need external confirmation to feel confident. The Stoic rises, even when mocked. The Stoic persists, even when ignored. It's about becoming the kind of person who can rise regardless of recognition. When others sleep, you wake up. When others rest, you sacrifice. The things they chase, comfort, ease, distraction, you leave behind, and the world will call you extreme. But you are building consistency, building focus. The Stoic doesn't wait for the right moment. They rise despite the world's indifference. You'll study, train, read, reflect, and labour in silence, making progress not because of applause, but because of your internal commitment to growth. It's the kind of rise that goes unnoticed. At first, you go through seasons of isolation, not because you're broken, but because you are in the process of building something unshakable. Slowly, steadily, your focus becomes a fortress. True consistency begins where praise ends. It's in those invisible hours that you become who you're meant to be. The gym with no mirrors becomes your monastery. The journal no one reads becomes scripture. The routine no one understands becomes the source of your self-respect. In those moments, it's not about results. It's about resolve. Every silent decision, every sacrifice unnoticed, becomes the foundation for something stronger within. The Stoic understands that greatness isn't about intensity, but about consistency. The work you put in during obscurity will determine how you carry yourself when the spotlight finally finds you. You rise alone, not for recognition, but for alignment. It's not about impressing others. It's about aligning with your values, your principles, your true self. The Stoic asks not, will this be admired, but is this just? Is this worthy? Is this true in daily life? This transforms the mundane into the meaningful. Early mornings are no longer burdens. They are declarations of intent. You stop seeking praise for your discipline because the act itself becomes the reward. The reward is not in being admired for your commitment. It's in the transformation that happens within. The Stoic path teaches that applause is as fleeting as a breeze, but discipline is a mountain that stands firm against any storm. The Stoic knows that when you rise alone, you're not chasing fleeting recognition. You're planting yourself deeply, like a tree whose roots go deeper than any storm can shake. You stop depending on others to fuel your ambition. You stop seeking validation. Your mission becomes personal, quiet, and powerful. This kind of rising is not about perfection or performance. It's about purpose. It's the long, slow burn of persistence, a fire that no storm can extinguish. This is the essence of Stoicism. You learn to rise through rejection, through being underestimated, through the quiet hours with no feedback. When setbacks come, and they will, you don't panic. You don't spiral. You stay grounded in your purpose because you've been training in silence. This is the power of the Stoic lessons, to rise not because of external circumstances, but because you know who you are and what you stand for. You don't need permission to rise again, because the strength comes from within. You become your own support system, your own reason, your own reminder. You stop relying on the world to give you energy. You generate it yourself. This independence, this quiet confidence, is what makes you dangerous, not because you're aggressive, but because you're self-sufficient. When others ask how you stay so consistent, how you achieve so much without needing the spotlight, you won't have a dramatic story. You'll simply say, "I stayed in the fight when no one knew I was fighting." That's the secret. The Stoic understands that true strength is forged in the silence. The world sees the result and calls it strength, but you know it was born in those unseen moments of discipline. Let your life speak louder than your words, your actions louder than any applause. When you rise alone, you evolve, and when the spotlight finds you, you won't need it. You will have already become the person you were meant to be. If you find this valuable, comment below and share it with someone who could benefit. Don't forget to subscribe for more wisdom. Comment to remember. I rise for myself. I don't need applause. Let the world watch as you rise in silence, because your strength is built in solitude. Chapter 3. Win alone. Victory without validation. To win alone is to embrace the path of self-mastery, to rise above the noise of the world and find victory in silence. This is not about conquering others, but conquering yourself, your weaknesses, impulses, fears, and doubts. It's a victory that speaks not in loud proclamations, but in quiet resilience and inner peace. The Stoic principles, as outlined by Marcus Aurelius and Seneca, emphasize the importance of self-discipline, virtue, and the rejection of external validation. As Seneca wisely put it, it is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor. Winning alone is about being content with what you have within yourself, not constantly seeking approval or applause from others. You don't need to shout your triumphs or flaunt your victories. Your reward is in knowing you've endured when others quit. You've resisted the temptation to take the easy path, to choose comfort over character, to seek praise over principle. This is the essence of Stoicism, the understanding that true success is not measured by external accomplishments, but by the strength of your character, your ability to withstand the challenges life throws at you, and your unwavering commitment to what is right. Victory, in this sense, is not the loud, celebratory victory of the masses, but the quiet, inward victory of the man who knows he has done right, regardless of who notices. It's about taking the harder road, staying sober when others indulge, standing firm when everyone else sways, and doing so without the need for applause. This is where real freedom lies, in the quiet, uncelebrated moments where you choose discipline over indulgence, progress over praise. As you walk this path, remember that the measure of your success is not what others think of you, but how closely your life reflects your values. True fulfillment is invisible. It is the stillness of the man who has conquered his ego and found peace within. You will rise, not because you seek to be better than others, but because you seek to be better than the man you were yesterday. To win alone is to find that victory, to stand firm in the face of temptation, to stay on your path when the world calls you to stray, and to do it all with integrity. Let them question your silence, your solitude, your calm. Let them mistake it for arrogance. They do not understand that in your silence lies the deepest form of victory, and in your solitude, your greatest strength. The Stoics understood this truth that victory does not come through comparison, but through conquering the self. Walk this path. Let your actions speak louder than your words. Let the world wonder how you did it, while you simply keep going. Let your progress be your only measure, your inner peace the only applause you need. The greatest victory is not in defeating others, but in mastering yourself. Remember, the unexamined life is not worth living. As Socrates said, if you can look in the mirror at the end of the day and know you've stayed true to your purpose, you have already won. Chapter 4. The Stoic Solitude. Not escape, but elevation. Solitude for the modern Stoic isn't about running away. It's about rising above. Think of Seneca, who withdrew not out of hate for the world, but to sharpen his mind. Marcus Aurelius wrote for purification, not recognition. Solitude, when embraced by the Stoic, is a path to elevation, not avoidance. While the untrained mind fears solitude, seeing it as a confrontation with buried thoughts, the Stoic sees it as sacred space for clarity and self-reflection. True peace isn't dependent on others. It's internal. It's the stillness that remains untouched by external chaos. If you rely on others to calm your storms, you remain vulnerable to their weather. Solitude is not weakness. It's strength under control. In the stillness, you're free to reconnect with your values and remember who you are. Independent of external distractions, you seek wisdom from principle, not popularity. The blessing of Stoicism is finding strength in silence. Even when the world is frantic, it's the ability to remain centered when everything around you is scattered. In solitude, you rise above noise and distraction. You stand tall without applause, choosing the hard path without guarantees. It's not about hiding. It's about rising, facing the world with greater clarity and strength. Solitude doesn't mean isolation. It's a conscious decision to reclaim your mind from the chaos of the world. Whether it's 10 minutes of quiet before the day begins or a walk without distractions, solitude grounds you. It's about responding thoughtfully instead of reacting. This inner clarity is your greatest ally, not the voices of others. The more you listen to it, the more aligned you become with your true self. In the end, you are no longer swayed by external opinions. You are led by your core, by principle, not applause, by knowledge, not noise. This is the power of modern Stoicism, walking a path few understand, but one you will never regret. Walk alone, rise alone, win alone. They'll regret leaving you. You've read the words. Now, it's time to act. The true strength lies not in the noise of the crowd, but in the quiet of your own mind. Solitude isn't an escape. It's the key to your elevation. You are not defined by the applause of others, but by the principles that guide you in silence. If you're ready to rise above, to trust the strength within, and to walk the path of the modern Stoic, comment below. I rise in solitude, and I will never regret it. Let's hear your commitment. Chapter 5. Self-sufficiency. The mark of inner freedom. Don't confuse freedom with the modern idea of doing whatever you want. True freedom, as the Stoics taught, is rooted in virtue and discipline, not indulgence. It's the freedom to do what is right, no matter the cost. To achieve this, you need self-sufficiency. It means becoming whole and grounded, regardless of who stays or leaves. It's not about stubbornness, but stability. Your strength comes from within, built on principles, not opinions. As Epictetus said, look for all help from within, because anything external, jobs, relationships, reputation, is fragile and can be taken away. What you build inside, no one can steal. When you are self-sufficient, your peace is not tied to others' actions. You stop being a slave to circumstances. The more you rely on others for your mood or purpose, the less control you have. But the Stoic refuses to live that way. External dependence steals your sovereignty. Self-sufficiency means standing firm, with relationships adding joy, not defining you. Your identity is shaped by your values, not the approval of others. You walk alone, not because you must, but because you can. You know who you are and where you're going, with no need for external validation. Fear of rejection or loss no longer controls you. Your strength comes from within, rooted in your principles, not possessions or people. This is the essence of Stoicism, self-sufficiency. Build habits and routines that keep you aligned with your values, even when no one is watching. When you walk alone, rise alone, and win alone, you become untouchable, because the freedom you've gained is unshakable. Chapter 6. The Lonely Discipline, a different kind of companionship. Walk alone, rise alone, win alone. Those who abandon you will regret it, for they won't understand the power you gain through solitude and discipline. True strength is born from walking your own path, from building the daily habits that ensure victory regardless of external circumstances. This is the essence of Stoic wisdom. The Stoics, particularly Marcus Aurelius, understood that discipline isn't about denying pleasure or imposing harsh punishment. It's about liberating yourself from the whims of emotion and distraction. It's about living by principles, not preferences. When you embody discipline, you no longer wait for motivation or inspiration to act. You move forward because you've built the foundation of your routine to guide you, whether you feel like it or not. Your life, your success, your victories. These are the results of small, uncelebrated choices made day in and day out, when no one is watching. Marcus Aurelius himself, one of the most powerful men in history, reminded himself daily that no one else could be responsible for his life. He made the choice to be accountable, to stay focused, even when the world was noisy with distraction. This is the heart of Stoic discipline. You must cultivate the discipline to rise without being called, to continue doing what's right even when there's no one watching, no applause waiting for you. In today's world, where distractions pull at us from every direction, discipline is what keeps you anchored. You walk the path alone, not because you have to, but because it's the right path. This is the strength that develops in silence. It's the result of decisions made when no one is around to see them, choosing the hard right over the easy wrong, day after day. This strength doesn't grow in crowds. It blossoms in quiet moments, in the mundane decisions where progress is silently made. Whether it's choosing discipline over temptation, routine over chaos, or purpose over procrastination, those moments define who you are becoming. The Stoic path is not easy, but it's rewarding beyond measure. As Aurelius said, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. In other words, your obstacles are the very things that shape you. The tough decisions, the lonely moments, they are what make you stronger. You must trust in the process, even when no one else sees it. Your integrity is built in these unseen choices, in the moments when you choose to act in accordance with your principles, even when there's no reward, no praise. There is no crowd cheering you on when you choose healthy food over junk, or when you decide to put in the extra work when no one is watching. Yet, it is these quiet decisions that sharpen your character, that forge your strength. The strength you build in these moments will be the foundation of your future success. Your habits must become anchors. They must become the default. Excellence isn't about intensity, it's about consistency. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. You must remove the temptation. Shape your environment so that virtue is automatic, so that your good habits do the heavy liftings when your emotions try to sway you off course. Make it easy to be great. Make it difficult to fall into mediocrity. Discipline is not something you feel. It's something you do. You build it into your bones. You make excellence inevitable. And when you're grinding away in obscurity, when no one sees your efforts, that's when you are truly rewarded. Not with recognition, but with the quiet strength of knowing that you've stayed true to yourself, true to your principles, and true to the path you've chosen. For the Stoic, solitude is not isolation, it's transformation. The invisible work you put in today will become the visible strength you display tomorrow. It is the fire in which your future self is forged. The process is grueling, but it is through this silent struggle that you will rise. It is not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live. said Marcus Aurelius. Don't fear the solitude or the struggle. Embrace it. Let it refine you. Let it sharpen you. This is where your strength is born, not in the applause, not in the praise, but in the quiet, the discipline, and the consistency. Walk alone, rise alone, win alone. Let the world regret leaving you behind. If you found value in this, like, comment below, and share it with someone who needs to hear this powerful message. Don't forget to subscribe for more insights on mastering discipline and self-mastery. Comment to remember, I choose discipline over distraction. Let this affirmation fuel your journey to greatness, and remind yourself daily of the path you're walking. Chapter 7. Detach to master. Losing to gain. Don't cling to outcomes. Don't let your ego lead. To walk alone is to master the rare art of detachment. It's not about turning away from life, love, or even ambition. It's about detaching from the need for things to go a certain way. The Stoics understood that true freedom begins when we stop grasping at expectations. That doesn't mean you stop caring or pursuing goals. Far from it. It means you stop holding on to the outcome as if your happiness depends on it. You commit fully to the journey, but you need nothing in return. You give your best not because of what you'll receive, but because it's simply who you are. You show up with passion, with effort, without possession. When you detach from how the world reacts, you build something far stronger inside, a resilience that no external force can break. Detachment is your power. It's that calm, unshakable confidence that comes when your identity is rooted in virtue, not in the fleeting results. As Epictetus wisely said, you are not disturbed by things, but by your opinion about them. Expectation breeds suffering. The moment you demand life to conform to your desires, you invite anxiety into your heart. Detachment doesn't mean you're passive or indifferent. You're still intensely engaged in life, but you no longer let it destabilize you. You've already surrendered the need to control. You don't force the river, you learn to flow with it, still staying true to your course. This detachment doesn't make you cold, it makes you crystal clear. The modern Stoic knows that detachment sharpens your values. You can love deeply without losing yourself. You can pursue your goals without becoming possessed by them. You can face loss without being shattered, because your peace comes from the integrity of your actions, not the outcome. This blessing of Stoicism allows you to feel deeply, yet not be ruled by those feelings. To the Stoic, detachment isn't about denying emotions, it's about transcending them. You don't shut off your heart, you educate it with reason. In the real world, detachment looks like letting go of the need for recognition or credit. It's doing the right things without broadcasting it. It's walking away from pointless arguments where being right costs you your peace. It's refusing to chase things that look good but don't align with your mission. It's resisting the urge to prove something, to boast, or to win shallow victories. You redefine success, not by accumulating more, but by needing less. You trade external validation for internal alignment. You swap applause for truth, recognition for self-respect. The less you need, the freer you become. And it's in that freedom where mastery emerges. You no longer need to control the outside world because you've mastered your inner world. Your sense of self is no longer shaped by others' reactions. It's owned by the strength of your principles. You walk into situations not needing, but offering. You give, not grab. You speak from truth, not from fear. And when you live from this place of rooted discipline and detachment, you become untouchable. Because when the world can't tempt you with praise, and it can't break you with rejection, that's when you are truly free to live. Chapter 8. The silent victory, unseen, unbroken. In a world obsessed with noise, the true victory is silent. The Stoic understands this deeply. The world celebrates the loud, the flashy, and the grand gestures. But the Stoic knows that real triumph doesn't need a stage, doesn't need fireworks or applause. It doesn't need the crowd's approval or the spotlight. True success is quiet. It's in the subtle, unseen moments when your character is tested, when your resolve is unshaken. It's the choices you make when no one is watching, the decisions that shape your soul rather than your social media profile. As Seneca said, sometimes even to live is an act of courage. He wasn't talking about just surviving. He was speaking about living with virtue, living nobly, even when the world tempts you to lower your standards. The silent victories are those that no one will ever know about, those small, often unnoticed choices that change the course of your life. The choice not to lie, not to indulge, not to retaliate. These are the moments that define you, the ones that mark your transformation from a man driven by external forces to a man shaped by internal strength. These silent victories do not decorate your resume, but they fortify your spirit, adding layers to your character that no one can see but you. The Stoic life isn't about collecting trophies. It's about restraint. It's about learning to hold back when everything inside you wants to explode. It's about choosing reason over impulse, discipline over desire. When you feel anger rising, but choose calm. When frustration builds, but you respond with clarity. You win more than just the moment. You win mastery over yourself. This is the essence of Stoicism, the strength to endure, the wisdom to resist, the determination to keep going even when no one is watching. You prove that endurance is not about luck, it's about loyalty to your mission. When your old habits want to rise up, but you remain disciplined, you demonstrate that true evolution doesn't come from inspiration, it comes from resistance. These are the moments that make a man. These battles aren't fought in front of crowds, they're fought in silence. The Stoic moves in the quiet, not the loud. The real victories are those that can't be seen, but they are felt deeply. They resound in how you move, how you speak, how you lead, and how you love. In daily life, these silent victories could look like walking away from an argument you could easily win, not out of weakness, but out of wisdom. It might mean declining praise that feeds your ego and choosing humility instead. It might look like letting go of the need to prove yourself and instead proving your principles. It's smiling through difficulty, staying calm when chaos swirls around you, and being consistent when no one is keeping score. These choices will rarely be understood, but they will always make you stronger. Every one of these choices is a notch in your internal armor. You build an internal legacy, one that only you and your conscience will ever see. But that is more than enough because your soul remembers. The world will chase flashy headlines, loud applause, and shiny moments. The Stoic, however, trains for the invisible. The true power lies in the unseen, the quiet, the private. The Stoic strength is not in seeking recognition, but in nurturing character. They don't need to broadcast their efforts or campaign for admiration because they understand that virtue is its own reward. They understand that what the world doesn't see is often what truly defines a person. You don't need to announce every victory, every plan, every step forward, not because you're hiding, but because you're protecting. There is a sacredness in silence, a kind of invisible armor that shields your momentum from outside interference. Not everyone who watches you wants you to succeed. Some will compete, some will copy, some will undermine you, others will pretend to support you while secretly wishing for your downfall. And when your vision is exposed too soon, it becomes vulnerable to misinterpretation, ridicule, and sabotage. These attacks are not always loud. Sometimes they come as quiet seeds of doubt planted by those who claim to care. Don't flaunt your success for the world to see. Don't post every win on social media. The truth is, most people don't care as much as you think they do. In fact, many may resent you for it. They'll smile to your face while silently hoping for your failure. When you expose your victories too early, you invite envy. And it's not personal, it's human nature. So, protect your peace and your progress. Keep your garden behind a wall until the roots are deep and the fruit is unshakable. Privacy is power. What is hidden is harder to attack, harder to corrupt, and harder to scatter. Let your results speak louder than any announcement. Let your excellence be understated but undeniable. Let your growth and success shine not in noise, but in presence, not in stories, but in standards. Let your integrity speak louder than your marketing. This is how the Stoic moves, quietly, yet with immense power. Their steps are light, but their impact is heavy. Their voice may be soft, but their example shouts the truth. In a world obsessed with appearances, nothing is more rebellious or more powerful than progress kept private. This is the silent victory, the kind that comes from mastering the inner world and letting it shape the outer world in ways the crowd will never understand. And that, my friend, is the blessing of Stoicism. If you found this valuable, comment below, and share it with someone who could benefit from this timeless wisdom. Don't forget to subscribe for more Stoic lessons. Comment to remember, I am the silent victor. Embrace the power of silence and the strength of unseen victories. Chapter 9. Build the inner citadel. Walk alone, rise alone, win alone. The world is harsh, and the few who understand this truth are the ones who shape their own destiny. This is the essence of Stoic wisdom, the wisdom of men like Marcus Aurelius, who understood that victory is not earned in the crowd, but forged in solitude. To walk alone is to build a fortress within yourself. This is what the Stoics meant when they spoke of the inner citadel. The world is unpredictable. People leave, circumstances change, yet the inner citadel stands firm. It is your sanctuary, your core, the foundation upon which you build your peace. The Stoic principles teach us that if you want to master life, you must first master yourself. This fortress is not built overnight. It is constructed piece by piece, with every disciplined action, every decision to rise above distraction. It grows stronger with every challenge you face with grace and every temptation you resist. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way, said Marcus Aurelius. The stones of your citadel are laid through daily routines, through hard-earned lessons learned in solitude, through your own struggle and determination. It's not about avoiding hardship. It's about being unshaken by it. When the world around you is chaotic, your citadel remains still. When others falter, you stand. You've built your strength not on others, but within yourself. The Stoic man knows that true power comes from within. He is not swayed by the opinions of others, nor is he influenced by fleeting success or failure. He is insulated, not isolated. He remains in control. Building the inner citadel doesn't mean retreating from the world. It means learning how to live in it without letting it control you. Through Stoic practices like daily reading, journaling, or meditating, you create the space needed to reflect, to grow, and to stay grounded. In today's world, where image often takes precedence over substance, your inner citadel remains invisible to others, but it is your most valuable asset. When everything around you crumbles, it is your inner citadel that will keep you standing. You will not fall because you've built something that the world can't destroy. What we do now echoes in eternity, and it's in the quiet strength of the inner citadel that your true legacy is forged. Chapter 10. Walk alone, but never against yourself. The final lesson, the most vital one, is simple but profound. Walking alone doesn't mean turning against yourself. Solitude isn't a punishment. It's a proving ground, a test of your character. However, even the modern Stoic, treading a path where applause is rare, must be careful not to mistake discipline for self-denial, nor strength for self-hate. You see, there's no honor in being your own enemy. There's only harm in it. To walk alone with power, you must walk with yourself, not against yourself. The Stoics didn't demand perfection, but they demanded progress. Marcus Aurelius, in his own reflections, constantly reminded himself of his flaws, that he'd feel anger, make mistakes, stumble. And yet, despite all of that, he kept going. He faced each day with patience, humility, and courage, because walking alone doesn't mean avoiding failure. It means never abandoning yourself when you do fail. It's about knowing your worth so deeply that you stop negotiating with your values. You accept your flaws, but don't make excuses for them. You correct yourself, firmly but kindly. You hold the line without crushing your spirit. A modern Stoic doesn't shame themselves into growth. They guide themselves with reason, compassion, and respect. They hold high standards, not out of fear, but out of a love for the strength they are cultivating. This, in your own life, means treating yourself the way you would treat a friend. You wouldn't mock a friend for their missteps, so don't tear yourself down when you falter. You wouldn't abandon someone you believe in, so don't abandon yourself during your lowest moments. It means taking rest when necessary, not as an excuse to escape, but as a strategy for recovery. A rested mind makes sharper decisions, and a steady soul can weather longer storms. Rest is not laziness, it's preservation. It's a declaration that your energy is sacred and should be managed with wisdom, not squandered in vain pursuits. It means speaking to yourself with clarity, not cruelty. Be honest without being harsh. Be firm, but not fatal. When you fall short, reflect without ruminating. Correct without condemning. You rise not by breaking yourself down, but by believing in yourself more than your worst moments. The Stoic understands that inner dialogue shapes outer actions. If your thoughts toward yourself are venomous, your spirit wilts. But if your words are full of direction, even in discipline, your character blossoms. Walk alone, but walk with honor. Rise alone, but rise with purpose. Win alone, but win with peace. The blessing of Stoicism lies in this. You become your own unwavering ally, your fiercest supporter, as you journey alone but never against yourself. Hey there, and thanks for watching. Before you go, here's something to carry with you, your solitude. It's not a punishment, it's a privilege. Use it to grow, to prepare, to get stronger. It's okay if the world doesn't always see your progress. What matters is that you're aligned with your truth, with what's best for you. When things get tough, when the path seems uncertain, just remember this. Those who walk alone are never really alone. They walk with purpose, with discipline, and with clarity. And when you keep pushing forward, even in silence, that inner voice will always be there saying, keep going. So, stand firm, stay true, walk your path, and soon enough, those who doubted you will regret ever leaving your side. Until next time, stay strong, stay focused, and keep moving forward. Flow with life, don't force it. Force it. Marcus Aurelius Philosophy, Stoicism Community, Old Stoic Wisdom. In the stillness that exists between striving and surrender lies a wisdom older than time itself. This quiet knowing hums through the world in the steady flow of rivers, in the gentle descent of a leaf. You were never meant to force life into your image, but to learn to move with it, to align yourself with its natural rhythm. This is the heart of Stoicism, not in trying to control external events, but in mastering the self. To live well, the Stoics believed, is not to struggle against the world, but to meet it as it is. We are often taught that success, peace, and purpose only come through relentless effort, through pushing and demanding our will upon the world. But what if the very force we exert is what clouds our clarity? The Stoics did not advocate for passivity, but they cautioned against bending reality to our will through sheer force. Marcus Aurelius famously said, "Let things flow naturally, and all things proceed as they must. This is not resignation. It is the quiet strength of wisdom. To force is to resist the current. The river will always win." The Stoic does not attempt to build barriers against life's flow. They build the tools to navigate it. They don't fight the wind. They adjust their sails. This mindset calls for courage, not control, patience, not passivity, trust, not tension. When we stop forcing, we begin to see. When we stop pushing, we begin to flow. That is where true strength becomes calm, where life ceases to be a struggle and becomes a dance with the universe. Let us now explore how we can embody this ancient wisdom, not by abandoning effort, but by directing our energy with grace and discernment. Together, we can walk this path where stillness becomes our strength and surrender, our wisdom. Love is not something you force, but something you allow to unfold naturally, unknown. Chapter 1. The Art of Allowing. What does it truly mean to not force anything? This isn't an invitation to sit idle. It's a reminder to act only when necessary, in harmony with nature and reason. The great Epictetus taught us that we control our will, not the world around us. Forcing is often the desperate move of someone who hasn't yet accepted this reality. There's an undeniable grace in those who don't force things. It's not that they lack drive or ambition. Rather, their ambition is shaped by clarity, not by insatiable desire. They wait for the right moment to act, not the instant their ego demands. There is a rhythm to life, and those who rush, those who snatch at outcomes too early, often spoil the natural flow of things. The Stoics, in their wisdom, often observed nature. They saw how trees grow, not by yanking at their own branches, but by standing firm and drawing nourishment from deep within their roots. This is the way of growth for us too. It is not forced, it is cultivated. It's slow, patient, but ultimately unstoppable when it arises from within. So why do we often try to force things? It's usually rooted in fear. The fear that things won't go our way, the fear of being overlooked, the fear of falling behind. But this fear clouds our judgment. It distorts our vision and pulls us away from the truth. The best things in life are aligned with nature, not imposed by us. Just like a flower cannot be forced to bloom prematurely, we cannot rush love, success, or meaning without distorting them. The key here is to step back and pause when we feel the tension, the urge to push forward too quickly. Ask yourself, is this the right moment? Is this the right direction? Is this in alignment with my true self? Or is it driven by anxiety? The art of allowing isn't about avoiding action. It's about acting without strain, without manipulation. It's about doing your part, then letting the universe take its course. This, my friend, is the blessing of Stoicism. And as a modern Stoic, you must embrace this art of allowing. Let go of the need to force and trust the natural flow of things. That's the true path to peace, success, and fulfillment. Chapter 2. Resistance reveals attachment. Wherever there is resistance, there is attachment. This is one of the most profound Stoic lessons. When we find ourselves fighting for something, whether it's a relationship, a goal, or a specific result, we're often revealing more than just a desire. We're showing an unhealthy dependency. It's not simply about wanting something to happen. It's about clinging to it so fiercely that its absence feels like a personal loss, like we can't function without it. This dependency is what makes us suffer. It's the very thing that distorts our vision, makes us lose control, and shackles us to the unpredictable outcomes of life. You must understand this. When you force something, you're not just chasing success, you're allowing it to define you. Marcus Aurelius, that great old Stoic, often reminded himself that nature knows best. To live well, you must live in harmony with it, and nature doesn't ask for your resistance. In fact, when something resists you repeatedly, deeply, and unmistakably, it's a signal from life itself. It might be telling you, this isn't your path, or not yet. The wise individual does not argue with reality. They understand that reality is a map, and all they must do is read it. To fight against life's flow is to swim upstream unnecessarily. You must ask yourself, is this the right battle? Is this the right time? If it resists you so fiercely, maybe it's not meant to be, at least not now. But don't confuse this with passivity. The Stoics, those warriors of the soul, understood that hardship is inevitable and sometimes necessary. They didn't avoid difficulties. They met them head-on with discipline, resilience, and discernment. The Stoic life isn't about avoiding challenges. It's about choosing your challenges wisely. Not every obstacle needs to be confronted. Not every difficulty is a battle worth fighting. The Stoics resisted only when resistance was aligned with their principles. They knew that overcoming adversity is often necessary to build strength, but they never resisted out of pride or out of a compulsive need to bend the world to their will. So, what does it mean to force something purely to satisfy the ego? It means that you're enslaved to desire, bound by impatience and fear. Real strength, however, is not about forcing things to happen. It doesn't roar, it doesn't shout, and it doesn't demand its way. It is quiet, restrained, and rooted in wisdom. True strength lies in the ability to pause before reacting. It grows in the space between desire and action, in that moment when you resist the urge to impose your will on life. It thrives when you can say, "I want this, but I do not need it." And that, my friend, is a critical Stoic lesson. The Stoic life isn't about pretending you don't want things. You must acknowledge your desires, but you must never let them own you. The stronger path is the one that allows you to detach from outcomes. It is the path that lets you say, "I want this, but my happiness, my peace, and my sense of self-worth are not dependent on whether it happens." This detachment isn't cold or indifferent. It is liberating. It means you can embrace life fully, without being dragged down by every disappointment. It is the blessing of Stoicism to recognize that the more you let go of what you can't control, the more peace you find within yourself. Remember, life is not about forcing, fighting, or clinging. It is about flow. The Stoic life teaches us that when we stop struggling against the natural course of things, we find harmony. It's time to stop forcing and start flowing. Be a modern Stoic. Live with intention, purpose, and wisdom, but also with a recognition that not every fight is yours to win. If you found value in this message, comment below, and share it with someone who could benefit. Don't forget to subscribe for more timeless wisdom from the Stoic Teachings comment. To remember, I align with life's flow, and I am strong in my detachment. Chapter 3. The Quiet Power of Surrender. Surrender is often misunderstood. In the Stoic philosophy, surrender is not about weakness or defeat. It is about clarity and discernment. It is about knowing when to push forward and when to let go. This is the essence of Stoicism, the ability to trust the flow of life, to accept what cannot be changed, and to focus only on what is within our control. As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. This trust is not blind. It is not about passively accepting whatever comes your way. It is about understanding that the universe moves in ways beyond our comprehension, and we must align ourselves with this natural order." In fact, Seneca, another great Stoic philosopher, wrote, "Fate leads the willing and drags the unwilling. To live well is to be led, not dragged." This profound insight reveals that the key to life is not in forcing things, but in embracing the rhythm of life itself. You must stop resisting what you cannot control. The energy you waste on pushing against the inevitable only depletes you. Instead, focus on what is yours to control: your thoughts, your actions, your values. Think of the mountain, unyielding, unmoved by the storms that rage around it. It doesn't chase the storm. It endures. It accepts what comes. Why? Because it is rooted in its purpose, in its strength. You too must root yourself, not in the outcomes of your efforts, but in the Stoic principles of courage, acceptance, and clarity. Your foundation should be firm, unwavering, built on a deep understanding of what truly matters. The person who forces is always reactive. They are constantly battling life's challenges, pushing back against every obstacle. But the Stoic who surrenders is always proactive. They choose their response. They make decisions with purpose. They show up fully, do their best with integrity, and then release the outcome. Their work is not to manipulate the results, but to remain true to their highest values. They understand that victory is not found in forcing the universe to bend to their will, but in aligning their will with the natural flow of things. You must not beg, plead, or cling to expectations like a lifeline. Desperation corrupts the purity of your intentions. You must live with quiet diligence. Your actions should be guided by your principles, not by your need for approval or validation. You do not control the universe, but you control your response to it. And that is where your power lies, your work, your effort, your voice. They should come from a place of truth, not from a place of manipulation. As Marcus Aurelius reminds us, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. You do not work to control the outcome, but to remain aligned with your core beliefs. You give because it is right to give. You act because it is right to act. The Stoic life is a life of strength through surrender. Surrender does not mean giving up. It means giving in to what is. It means trusting that life will unfold as it is meant to, and your role is to live with integrity, clarity, and purpose. It is about choosing how you respond to what comes, not forcing life to fit your desires. You are the master of your mind, and that is where your victory lies. Live by the Stoic principles. Root yourself in strength. And remember, you are a little soul carrying around a corpse, as Marcus Aurelius said. It's not about controlling the external world. It's about mastering the one thing you can control, yourself. Live with honor, act with purpose, and surrender to the flow of life, knowing that true strength lies in accepting what is, and in doing so, you will find your peace, your victory, and your mastery of life. Chapter 4. When patience is strength. In a world that pushes us to hurry, the wisdom of patience stands out like a rare treasure. We live in an age where speed, instant results, and immediate satisfaction are constantly celebrated. But here's the truth. Patience isn't a passive virtue, it's a dynamic strength. The Stoics understood this deeply. Rushing, acting without thought, or forcing outcomes only leads to mistakes. Most errors stem from the rush to act before we understand, from trying to make things happen before the right moment has arrived. They taught us that true wisdom doesn't rush, it patiently waits. It doesn't come from force or haste, but from taking a step back, observing, and allowing clarity to emerge naturally. Patience, for the modern Stoic, is not about doing nothing. It's about doing everything in its own time, with deliberate intention. It requires strength to remain calm when everything around you screams, "Move now!" It's not about being indecisive. It's about discernment, the ability to hold your ground and wait for the right time to act. This discipline, this internal control over yourself, is the key to transforming chaos into calm. Life will unfold on its own time, no matter how much we try to speed things up. And patience is our way of being prepared for what comes, rather than being controlled by the frenzy around us. It's the blessing of Stoicism to know that we can't control the unfolding of events or others' actions, but we do have control over how we respond to them. The modern Stoic doesn't react in panic or stress. They meet life's turbulence with stillness. They choose how they respond, not just to the events but to the emotional storms inside them. This is what it means to be truly in control. You are grounded and rooted while everything else around you is in motion. When you feel the urge to act immediately, to force a decision, pause, take a deep breath. Often, what feels like urgency is simply a mask for fear. The trick is to recognize the difference between what's a true call to action and what's merely your anxiety trying to pull you into a panic. This is the wisdom of Stoicism at work, being patient enough to question whether your rush is driven by wisdom or fear. It's knowing that being ready is more important than being early. Patience teaches us to wait for the right moment, to listen to the quiet signals that others may miss in their frantic pursuit of action. It shows us that not all movement is progress. In fact, sometimes the best action is no action at all, or at least not right now. Through patience, we learn the difference between noise and signal, between empty movement and true progress. We understand that time spent in reflection is never wasted. It's preparing us for the future in ways we can't always see yet. It's about cultivating a mindset that values subtlety over haste, stillness over frantic activity. The modern Stoic knows that actions rooted in impatience often lead to regrets. They are aware that the best time to act is when you are clear, focused, and aligned with your inner compass. The wisdom of waiting, of patiently watching life unfold without forcing it, gives them the ability to act with precision. They don't rush to prove anything. They act because they are aligned with their purpose. They move not to impress others, but to create meaningful impact, making each step count. This clarity of purpose allows them to make decisions from a place of peace rather than panic. Their movements are measured. But that doesn't mean they lack momentum. In fact, the stillness gives their actions incredible power. When you can wait with intention, without being swept up by external pressures, your actions will carry far more weight. The key is not to be constantly on the go, but to recognize that patience is an active choice, a choice that leads to far more lasting results. Life doesn't have to be a race, it's more of a rhythm. When you sync yourself to that rhythm, your pace becomes purposeful, unstoppable, and fluid. This is the power of patience in action, a strength without force, movement without chaos. In the end, the Stoics' power lies not in their ability to act immediately, but in their ability to act the right moment, with full presence and intention. They don't let fear or desperation guide their decisions. They don't rush into action just because the world says they should. They wait. They observe. They act only when the time is right. This is the blessing of Stoicism, the peace that comes from knowing when to move and when to be still. By mastering the art of patience, we discover a profound strength within ourselves, the ability to walk through life calmly, confidently, and with purpose. And in that space, we find the clarity to make decisions that are not only effective but meaningful. And if you find today's content very interesting, please give me a word of encouragement by commenting "very interesting" in the comments section. That is a huge motivation for us. Thank you. Chapter 5. Living with open hands. Living without forcing is to live with open hands. Not grasping, not clinging, just open. Open to receive, open to release. This is the posture of peace. This is the posture of true power. Many of us live clenched, gripping tightly onto plans, people, outcomes, and even our identities. And in that grip, we lose ourselves. We become tense, reactive, and brittle. Our energy is drained, our joy becomes conditional, and we stop living in the present moment. We begin to live under pressure instead of presence. The Stoics taught the opposite. Live light, travel light. Let go of the illusion that you must manage every detail, hold every thread, or carry every burden alone. Hold your values deeply, but your outcomes lightly. Focus on what matters most, but don't let desires enslave you. This is the essence of Stoic life, being grounded in character and letting go of the need for control. An open hand welcomes life. It holds what comes and releases what leaves. It doesn't chase or force. It doesn't shrink in the face of uncertainty. It trusts, not blindly, but with understanding. The Old Stoics believed that what belongs to you will stay without needing to be taken by force. What is truly meant for you will come naturally, without being dragged by desperation. An open hand isn't a sign of weakness. It's readiness. It's surrender with strength. It's the space through which grace enters. To live this way, start by loosening your grip on things that don't belong to you. Control, outcomes, approval, and timelines. Let go of the scripts telling you that everything must happen now, or that your worth depends on how others see you. Ask yourself, what am I holding too tightly? What's it costing me? My peace, my clarity, my presence? What would happen if I simply opened my hand? Often, the answer is freedom. There is a quiet freedom that makes room for grace, for reflection, for unhurried breath. It doesn't shout, it whispers. It doesn't need to assert itself. It simply arrives when you stop clinging. This freedom is not just a release, it's a return to yourself, to the present moment, and to the core of what matters. When you stop controlling, clarity follows. Where fear and tension once were, peace grows. You lose only what was weighing you down: illusions, false control, and the compulsion to orchestrate every detail of your life. What remains is flow, a life that's less about forcing and more about responding with grace. It's calm, it's strength, not from gripping harder, but from standing rooted in who you are, in your values, and in your willingness to release what no longer serves you. Live like the Stoics. Firm steps rooted in principle, not panic. Walk with open hands. Know how to let go, receive, and hold only what is meant to stay. This isn't about capturing life and forcing it to fit your vision. It's about walking beside it, witnessing it unfold, and accepting it with reverence instead of resistance. That's how peace enters, not through domination, but through dignity, not through control, but through grounded presence. This is the way of the open hand, the way of the Stoics. It's the path of wisdom, leading not to chaos, but to a peace that endures. Chapter 6. Accepting the season you're in. Every life has seasons. There are times for planting and times for harvest, times for silence and times for action, times when things move with momentum, and times when things seem to stand still. The Stoic learns to respect these rhythms with deep humility. They do not try to harvest in winter. They do not curse the quiet moments of waiting. They do not panic when the world seems to be passing them by. They trust the process of change, the wisdom of the cycle. They accept the season they're in, and they act accordingly. They observe before they act, reflect before they judge, and adapt instead of resist. Trying to force a season is one of the quickest ways to lose your peace. When you demand progress before it's time, or compare your path to someone else's, you sow the seeds of frustration and self-doubt. You rush what was meant to unfold slowly, and in that rush, you lose the lesson and the strength it was meant to build. When you compare your journey to another's or demand progress on your timeline, you introduce unnecessary suffering. Epictetus said, "Don't demand that things happen as you wish, but wish them to happen as they do, and you will go on well." This is not passive, it's perceptive. It invites you to drop the illusion of control and develop the virtue of alignment. It teaches us to notice what life is showing us rather than what we demand of it. It urges us to become students of timing rather than prisoners of pressure. Perhaps your season is one of building quietly in the dark. Perhaps it's one of rest or healing or waiting. Perhaps it is a chapter of unlearning, of release, of refining your inner world while the outer remains still. These seasons are subtle. They whisper rather than roar. They move like shadows, shaping you silently. That doesn't mean it's wasted. In fact, these are often the most fertile chapters of life, the soil from which all future growth springs. The Stoic understands that value is not always visible, that a seed beneath the soil is just as alive as the flower in bloom, that waiting is not passive, it is a form of preparation. Some of the most important growth happens when no one sees it, not even you. It is quiet, hidden, sacred work, the work of preparation, of laying foundations, and the Stoic honours that work with the same seriousness as they would a public victory. They know that the harvest is only possible because of the silent planting. To live without forcing is to be in harmony with time, not in resistance to it, not as an adversary, but as an apprentice to its wisdom. Time has its own logic, its own momentum, its own order. To try to rush it is to fight the tide. To trust it is to learn to move in step with the eternal rhythm. To trust that your pace is not broken, that your path is not lost, that your quiet season is not evidence of failure, but of form being shaped, of depth being carved. That your season is exactly as it needs to be, even if you can't yet see the shape of its purpose. You water the soil you've been given. You tend to what's in front of you, even if it feels like nothing is happening. You nurture what you can with patience, with presence, with faith. You resist the temptation to pull up the roots to check their progress. You let them take hold beneath the surface, and when the time is right, you will see the fruit, not a moment too early, not a moment too late, but exactly when you are ready to receive it. But you do not pull on the stem to make it grow. You do not shout at the clouds to rain. You do not bargain with nature to bend to your will. You let it come. You create the conditions for life to unfold, and then you step back with reverence. And in doing so, you honour the very nature of life itself, the slow, wise, unforced way in. If you found this valuable, comment below, and share it with someone who could benefit. Don't forget to subscribe for more wisdom. Comment to remember, I trust the season I'm in and flow with life, not forcing it. Let's embrace the wisdom of the Stoics and live in harmony with time, which all things rise. Chapter 7. The difference between effort and forcing. Understand this. Not all action equates to forcing. The Stoics were diligent doers who embraced the work and struggles of life, but they didn't chase after them in a frantic, desperate way. Instead, they chose their efforts wisely, knowing that true strength arises from purposeful living. They valued discipline, training, and hard work, but their focus was inward, not outward. Their primary concern was who they were becoming, rather than the external results they were chasing. The Stoic path prioritized character over control, willpower over outcomes, and integrity over intensity. They put energy into shaping their inner selves, not the world around them. This type of effort is calm, steady, and sustainable. On the flip side, forcing is an effort twisted by fear. It's a movement born out of anxiety, the frantic need to impose a specific outcome regardless of the timing or natural flow. Forcing is trying to control what isn't yours to control. People, circumstances, results. It's mistaken motion, confusing activity with progress. It's about demanding things happen exactly as imagined, regardless of what reality has in store. Forcing disregards the natural order, ignores the signs, and pushes against the inevitable. More often than not, it leads to burnout, exhaustion, and a sense of disillusionment. You must recognize that forcing wears down the soul because it disconnects effort from wisdom. True effort, when aligned with reason, brings peace. It's an offering of energy that harmonizes with your values. This is the kind of effort that strengthens rather than depletes, coming from purpose rather than panic. It doesn't demand, it contributes, it doesn't overwhelm, it organizes, it allows for steady progress without compromising who you are. Effort is sustainable because it grows out of conviction, not compulsion. Forcing, on the other hand, pressures, suffocates, and distorts. It imposes your pace, forcing others and circumstances to meet your expectations. It traps you in a cycle of resistance, where you push harder but get nowhere. Effort, when it flows naturally, respects the timing of things, listens to the rhythm of life, and adapts accordingly. It moves forward with clarity, and knows when to adjust or rest. Forcing tries to dam the river, to control what cannot be controlled, creating unnecessary tension. It's a constant push against reality, and it leaves you feeling exhausted, even if you're busy. True effort builds because it aligns with nature, purpose, and timing. The modern Stoic knows the difference. They commit to action grounded in wisdom, not desperation. Their momentum is deliberate, never frantic. And when effort is not rooted in virtue, it becomes a burden, not a blessing of Stoicism. They cultivate effort that flows with the rhythm of life, not against it. They choose alignment over agitation, and trust that virtue will always guide them towards sustainable success. Ask yourself, are you acting from a place of clarity or chaos? Are you moving with life or against it? Is your effort grounded in wisdom or driven by fear? Is your pace one of alignment or urgency? These questions help you identify where you're forcing, where you're holding on too tightly, and where your actions have become mere noise. Often, when we feel exhausted, not by the effort itself, but by the strain behind it, it's because we've disconnected from our true selves. We're chasing shadows instead of standing in the light. To reclaim your power, return to what's yours, your discipline, choices, perception, and response. Remember, no one can take these from you unless you surrender them. Let go of what you cannot force, and release what lies beyond your control. Let go with wisdom, not bitterness. The Stoics' work is hard, but it's not hurried. It's steady, deliberate, and aligned with the soul's rhythm. It doesn't rush toward validation or outcomes. This is the true difference between effort and forcing. It's the blessing of Stoicism. And when you choose it, you step into a power the world can't give or take away. Chapter 8. Letting go of the need to control people. Letting go of control, especially when it comes to others, is tough. We often try to change people, thinking we're helping or guiding them. But, in reality, we're trying to control them, shaping their behavior to fit our expectations instead of accepting them as they are. This subtle need for control often disguises itself as care. But the Stoics taught us that we cannot control another's journey. They emphasize the importance of understanding what's ours to control and what's not. Trying to change someone breeds frustration, resentment, and conflict. It builds walls between us and those we care about. Worse, it often pushes them further away. Coercing transformation strips away their dignity and autonomy, hurting both them and us. True strength lies not in persuasion, but in presence. It's living your truth so clearly that others feel it, not just hear it. Influence flows from example, not insistence. When you stop trying to control, you open the door to real connection. You allow love to emerge freely, without pressure. This kind of love respects others' freedom, and in doing so, it fosters mutual understanding and deeper bonds. By letting go of the need to change others, you free yourself from emotional strain. This shift redirects your energy inward, giving you clarity, peace, and strength. The Stoic doesn't chase or fix. They live by their principles, setting an example without forcing others to conform. True influence begins when coercion ends. Transformation starts with living authentically, not demanding it from others. Chapter 9. The Paradox of Power. To understand the true nature of power, one must first let go of the misguided belief that control equates to strength. True power is not found in gripping tightly to circumstances, manipulating outcomes, or forcing your will upon the world. As Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic philosopher, wisely said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Power is not about domination, but about presence, calm, and unwavering principles. It's about mastering yourself, your emotions, impulses, and judgments, so that you can meet the world not with force, but with clarity. When you stop fighting the current of life, you find a flow that carries you effortlessly. Those who are grounded in their values don't need to chase success or attention. It comes to them naturally because they emanate an energy that draws people in. They are whole within themselves, independent of external validation. This kind of person commands authority, not because they demand it, but because their presence speaks volumes. They do not compete, they contribute. They don't need to rush or force things. Opportunities arrive when they are prepared to meet them. In a world that often feels chaotic, the Stoic finds stillness and clarity, not by eliminating the chaos, but by choosing not to be ruled by it. They do not panic. They do not react impulsively. They respond with reason and principle, keeping their philosophy as a compass in the storm. You must stop confusing effort with control. Too often, we let our drive for perfection or productivity create unnecessary stress. Ask yourself, are you acting out of wisdom or out of fear? Are you trying to control every outcome to avoid discomfort, or are you trusting the process? The Stoic teaches us that true strength is not in trying to control everything, but in mastering ourselves. When you align with life's natural flow, you create space for peace. Peace comes not from forcing, but from surrendering, letting go of the pressure and trusting that things will unfold as they should. As you walk through life, you must learn to move with purpose, not pressure. Be decisive, but do not be driven by urgency. Know when to act and when to rest, for both are acts of wisdom. Strength is not in the loudness of your actions, but in the stillness of your presence. The greatest form of power is not in forcing outcomes, but in mastering yourself. And in that mastery, you find a quiet, unshakable strength. This is what makes the Stoic powerful, their ability to remain steady in the face of life's unpredictability. To live by Stoic principles is to walk with quiet strength, knowing that you don't need to overpower the world to live powerfully. You must stop seeking control and start embracing mastery. If you find value in this lesson, comment below and share it with someone who could benefit from embracing the power of presence and calm. Don't forget to subscribe for more transformative wisdom. Comment to remember, I am grounded in strength and flow with life, not force it. Let's build a community of Stoic warriors, mastering life with grace and clarity. Chapter 10. Trust the process. Live philosophy. The core of Stoicism is simple, yet profound. Live in harmony with nature, not in resistance to it, not in constant friction with reality, but in tune with its rhythm. You were never meant to bend the world to your will or fight against its flow. You were meant to align with it, to synchronize with its beat. Your purpose is not to force the outcome, but to bring your best to each moment, your full presence, your calm focus, and your unwavering virtue. Let everything else unfold as it is meant to. Life is not here to serve you, it's here to teach you. Your job is not to control life, but to move alongside it with grace. Don't force anything doesn't mean doing less. It means doing it right. It's not about disengaging or avoiding. It's about alignment. It's knowing when to act and when to wait, when to speak and when silence holds more power. It's about moving with clarity, not confusion, integrity, not ego, calm, not chaos. It's knowing when to walk away because it's not your fight, and when to step in because it is. It's about trusting the process. Even when you can't see the outcome, you must understand that most problems don't need immediate action. They need patient observation. Stoics were not passive, they were powerful, but their power was precise. It wasn't loud or frantic, it was thoughtful and intentional. They did not waste energy on things beyond their control. Instead, they conserved their strength for what was theirs to shape, what they could control: their thoughts, their responses, their principles, and by doing so, they became immovable. You can live this way today, not by changing the world, but by changing how you approach it. Shift from resistance to awareness. Let the wind flow around you instead of trying to push against it. Don't force open doors that are meant to stay shut. Some doors are closed because they're not meant for you, or they're not meant for now. Stop trying to control others who are never meant to be controlled. People aren't puzzles to solve, they're souls to honor. Don't try to rush your timeline when there's a bigger one unfolding beneath it. The universe has its own rhythm, one that doesn't answer to your deadlines. Live with open hands. Let go of the tension. Stop clenching your fists and furrowing your brow. You cannot receive what's meant for you if your hands are closed, trying to control everything. Hold tightly only to what belongs to you: your character, your choices, and your courage. Everything else is borrowed. It will pass. Let it go. Trust that when you stop forcing, you begin to see the truth. You'll begin to notice the beauty, the opportunity, and the love unfolding around you without your interference. You begin to live with a sensitivity to life's quiet guidance, a readiness to welcome what is truly yours. When you stop grasping, you start receiving. When you stop dictating, you start listening. Life begins to move toward you because you no longer block it with fear. You stop crowding the doorway to your blessings. The life you're meant to live doesn't need to be wrestled into place. It won't arrive through tension. It doesn't respond to pressure. It responds to presence. It arrives in its own time, like the seasons, the sunrise, or the river meeting the sea. Inevitable, effortless, and ordained. It doesn't shout, it whispers. And when it does arrive, you'll be ready. Not because you chased it, but because you made space for it. Let this be your posture still. Strong, surrendered, not weak but deliberate, not resigned, but fully awake. Not as someone who has given up, but as someone who has finally understood. This is the Stoic way. This is how you walk through life unshaken, unhurried, and unforced. You are a quiet force of peace in a world obsessed with panic. And that, my friend, is the blessing of Stoicism. It's the modern Stoic's gift to us all, the understanding that peace comes not through control, but through presence, trust, and grace. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this video valuable, don't forget to hit the like button, share it with others, and subscribe for more insightful content on Stoic philosophy and life wisdom. I'd love to hear your thoughts, whether it's feedback, questions, or just your take on what we discussed today. Drop a comment below, and let's keep the conversation going. Remember, the path to a peaceful mind comes from embracing life as it is. Just like Marcus Aurelius taught us, stay calm, stay wise, and I'll catch you in the next video. 8 subtle signs she's into you. Old Stoic wisdom. Welcome back to the channel. Have you ever found yourself wondering how to decipher the hidden signals that women send when they're genuinely interested in you? Attraction isn't just about chemistry. Often, it's a quiet, unspoken language that reveals more than any words can. Many men miss these subtle cues, not because they're invisible, but because they're easy to overlook. That's where Stoic wisdom comes in. A Stoic man doesn't chase approval, he simply observes. He sees what others fail to notice. By learning to read these signs, you can move through the world with clarity, understanding, and intention. Have you ever experienced the feeling that a woman is drawn to you one moment, only to seem distant the next? It's easy to mistake this push and pull for confusion or disinterest. But often, it's a form of communication, a dance of attraction that speaks volumes if you know how to listen. In this video, I'll reveal 8 subtle signs that show a woman is into you. These are not tricks or gimmicks. They're grounded in real psychology and human behavior. These signs don't require her to say a word. They reveal her emotions in ways that go beyond surface-level interactions. Recognizing these cues means more than just knowing when someone is attracted to you. It means understanding the deeper layers of human connection. It means gaining confidence, emotional intelligence, and clarity. Why is this understanding crucial? Because when a man fails to read these signals, he either acts prematurely or misses his opportunity entirely. But when he learns to see with purpose, he builds relationships on a foundation of mutual respect rather than false hopes. He moves through life with strength, not desperation. Attraction isn't only about desire, it's about timing, trust, and shared energy. By the end of this video, you'll have the tools to read between the lines, to understand her unspoken words, and to navigate the dance of attraction with ease and confidence. Remember, you don't need to play games. A Stoic man doesn't chase, he simply understands the truth. As the philosopher Rainer Maria Rilke once said, love consists in this, that 2 solitudes protect and touch and greet each other. With this wisdom in mind, you'll be able to build connections that are grounded in authenticity and mutual respect. Stay tuned. Let's dive into those 8 signs. The psychology behind female attraction. In the world of attraction, women often operate on a psychological wavelength that many men struggle to decipher. But if you want to understand the subtle signs that she's into you, you must recognize the deeper emotional cues that speak louder than surface-level signals. Women, throughout centuries of evolution, have been hardwired to seek out qualities that promise security, stability, and emotional connection. This isn't about the muscles you flex or the car you drive. It's about the inner strength you exude, the emotional stability you offer, and the subtle yet profound way you make her feel. Think about it. Confidence, attentiveness, and the ability to create a space where she feels safe emotionally. These are the traits that carry weight. Modern Stoic wisdom teaches us that it's not just about what you show, but how you make others feel. It's about embodying calm, grounded confidence without the need for loud displays of power. These traits resonate deeply, much more than the fleeting appeal of outward appearances. That is the blessing of Stoicism. Women are drawn to emotional security, a trait that signals you can stand strong, be present, and offer a sense of stability without being shaken by life's challenges. Here's where it gets interesting. Unlike men, who often respond to visual cues, women are more attuned to emotional and psychological triggers. For them, it's not the flashy brand of your watch or the luxury of your car that draws them in. What truly matters is how you make them feel when they're around you. A woman's attraction is deeply rooted in how seen, heard, and valued she feels in your presence. The moment she feels emotionally safe and validated, it taps into a connection that goes beyond the physical. This connection is subtle, often invisible to the untrained eye, But once you begin to notice these behaviors, you'll start to see the signals she's sending your way. But here's the kicker: attraction is rarely as direct as we'd like it to be. Women don't always make their interest obvious, and you can't expect to read their minds. Instead, they often communicate their feelings through small, nuanced actions, those seemingly insignificant moments that tell you so much. The challenge lies in picking up these cues before they slip by unnoticed. This is where the modern Stoic approach comes into play. Be aware of the cues, and you will unlock the mystery of her attraction. Remember, a single gesture or glance might mean little, but when you start noticing multiple signs that align, you know something deeper is unfolding. These aren't random actions, they're signals of genuine interest. So, don't mistake a friendly smile for indifference or a casual conversation for a lack of attraction. You must learn to look for patterns, not just isolated moments. If you notice her initiating contact, maintaining prolonged eye contact, or laughing at even your corniest jokes, there's more than meets the eye. It's not just that she's being nice, she's letting you know you're on her radar in ways she might not even realize herself. Women might not always be straightforward, but they're definitely not ambiguous when you look closely enough. Trust the signals, and don't shy away from acting on them. The blessing of Stoicism lies in knowing when to remain steady and when to take bold action based on what you feel. It's this balance of emotional awareness and composed confidence that will guide you to a deeper connection. In the end, understanding these subtle signs requires more than just reading her body language. It demands a sensitivity to the way she feels when she's around you. Are you making her feel comfortable and valued? Are you a safe, emotional anchor she can rely on? That is where the real power lies. Don't just look for flashy signs. Pay attention to the subtle patterns that reveal her deeper interest. The modern Stoic knows that true strength lies in emotional intelligence and understanding the quiet signals that speak volumes. So, observe, trust your instincts, and act confidently when the time is right. Sign 1. Subtle touches. A gesture so quiet it could slip by unnoticed. Yet, when you know how to see it, this seemingly small action speaks volumes for the Stoic man. Calm, observant, and grounded. This is one of the oldest, yet most profound signs that a woman is into you. Picture the scene: you're engrossed in conversation, sharing something important, and suddenly her fingers graze yours ever so briefly. Or perhaps she leans in a little closer, her hand gently touching your arm to emphasize her point. Maybe, when you tell a joke, her hand lingers just a moment longer on your shoulder as she laughs. These touches are not random. They are intentional, hidden beneath layers of subtlety. Think of them as silent invitations into her world. The modern world may rush by at lightning speed, but touch remains timeless. It's primal. Before words were even formed, humans communicated through touch, offering comfort, connection, and trust. And for women, especially those who move through life acutely aware of emotional cues, a subtle touch signals both comfort and curiosity. It's her way of testing the waters, closing the distance just a little, to see if you'll meet her halfway. You must understand these touches aren't accidental. They're like whispers from her soul, hinting at a deeper desire for closeness, without the pressure of declaring it outright. This is where Stoicism shines through. The Old Stoic teaches us that not every moment needs to be a grand declaration or flashy gesture. In fact, the Stoic life is about remaining calm, centered, and composed in moments that could otherwise send us into a frenzy. When a woman touches you, it's often an unspoken invitation to connect on a deeper level. The question is, how will you respond? It's not about rushing in, nor is it about pulling away in fear. It's about remaining steady, grounded, and wise in your actions. This is what the Stoic man does. The Stoic life is defined by its ability to handle situations with a calm presence. And this includes moments of subtle touch. When you notice these cues, don't overanalyze them. Don't fall into the trap of questioning every move, or worse, misreading the signals. Instead, be present. That's what the Stoic does best. The Stoic man knows the value of self-control, of letting moments unfold naturally without trying to force them. In these quiet, subtle touches, there is great power, but it requires patience to recognize and respond in kind. A gentle touch in return when her fingers brush your arm. A soft but deliberate gesture when guiding her through a door. These are ways you reciprocate, acknowledging her presence without overwhelming her. The key here is balance. You must not rush toward her touch, nor shy away from it. You must meet it with a kind, grounded response. This is how you build trust and closeness, without forcing it. Remember, how you handle these small moments tells her everything about who you are. In a world filled with loud gestures and shallow signals, the Stoic's quiet, intentional presence becomes the most attractive feature. Be like the Stoic, calm, measured, and composed. The blessing of Stoicism in these moments lies in your ability to stay grounded when others would falter. It's your ability to let the energy of the moment unfold naturally, rather than forcing or rushing it. The Old Stoic teaches us to resist the urge to hurry, especially in matters of the heart. When a woman opens that door, even slightly, it's your stillness, not your speed, that will invite her to keep stepping closer. You must let attraction grow, not through pressure, but through presence. In the end, subtle touches are the beginning of deeper connection. In these quiet gestures, there's a world of meaning waiting to be discovered. Don't miss it. Stay present, stay aware, and stay grounded. Trust that, in time, the connection will deepen, and you'll know when to act and when to simply let the moment breathe. That's the essence of Stoicism, calm, composed, and wise in the face of subtle, powerful signals. Sign 2. Prioritizing time with you. When a woman is genuinely interested in you, she will always find a way to make time for you, no matter how hectic her life might be. It's not about grand gestures, but the small, meaningful moments. An impromptu coffee date, a weekend together, or a quick check-in to see how you're doing. In a world where time is one of our most limited resources, her decision to spend it with you is a powerful signal. It's not merely about interest. It's about valuing you and recognizing something unique in you. When a woman prioritizes your presence, she's showing care, dedication, and a deeper emotional investment in the relationship. To truly understand why this matters, consider this time is an irreplaceable asset. She's not just squeezing you into the cracks of her busy schedule, she's actively creating space for you, which demonstrates that she sees you as someone worth her attention. In the eyes of the Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius, time is the most precious commodity. He taught us, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. When a woman chooses to spend her time on you, it speaks volumes about her thoughts, intentions, and how she perceives you. This isn't about chance or convenience. It's a deliberate, meaningful choice. Now, the key question is, how should you respond to this act of genuine care? It's not enough to simply enjoy the time you spend together. You must recognize the effort she's putting in. Acknowledge it. A simple thank you for making time for me not only shows your appreciation, but it reinforces that you understand the significance of her actions. When you respond with gratitude, you strengthen the bond between you both. It's about mutual recognition. You must ensure that you don't just accept her time as a given, but that you honor it by being fully present when you're together. Engage with her, show that you value her company, and never take her efforts for granted. But it doesn't end there. Stoic principles remind us that to receive is to give. The more you give in return, the more you will receive. If she's showing you that you're a priority in her life, it's crucial that you mirror this effort. Don't just sit back and wait for her to invest all the time and energy into the relationship. You must take the initiative to invest back. Prioritize her time just as she has done with yours. It's not about obligation. It's about creating a balanced, reciprocal relationship that flourishes over time. The power of understanding and reciprocating the value of time isn't limited to romantic relationships. It's a principle that transcends into every aspect of life. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. This is true not only in material wealth, but also in how you value your time and the time of others. When you appreciate the limited time you both have together, the relationship becomes deeper, more meaningful, and more purposeful. In modern life, it's easy to get caught up in the noise, the distractions, the constant flow of obligations. But when a woman makes time for you, it's a reflection of how much she values you. You must meet that with the same level of commitment, understanding, and energy. Time is a precious gift. You must never waste it, and you must never take it for granted. Show her that her time with you is a priority. When you do this, you are not just building a relationship. You're building a bond based on respect, mutual appreciation, and intentional effort. Let this be your blueprint for success. If you find this valuable, like, comment below, and share it with someone who could benefit. Don't forget to subscribe for more wisdom. Comment to remember. Time spent with me is always valued. This affirmation aligns with the content because it emphasizes the importance of valuing each other's time, a key sign of genuine affection and connection. Sign 3. Genuine eye contact. In the subtle art of reading attraction, the eyes speak louder than any words can, and this truth holds weight for those who are attuned to its power. It's ancient, primal, and it speaks with a depth that goes beyond the superficial. When a woman holds your gaze a moment longer than the usual glance, it's not just a fleeting gesture. It's a quiet yet profound signal that she's truly invested in you. The pause is so brief that the untrained eye might miss it, but to the keen observer, it speaks volumes. This isn't a casual look, it's deliberate, intentional, and laden with meaning. You might notice her pupils dilate, or perhaps her expression softens, the warmth of her gaze betraying a vulnerability that only comes when she's comfortable enough to lower her guard. This isn't about trying to seduce you. It's about forging a connection, a bond of trust that transcends the superficial. It's a moment where the true essence of human interaction takes place, and the Stoics would recognize this as the purest reflection of the soul. Her eyes don't just see you, they reveal how she feels. Epictetus, the Stoic sage, once wisely said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." But when it comes to connection, silence is often the loudest language, and her eyes are the messengers. In that brief second of lingering eye contact, she's conveying a silent yet powerful message. I see you. I acknowledge your presence. I want you to notice me too. It's not a show. It's not a performance. In today's world, filled with distractions and shallow exchanges, such genuine connection is rare and deeply meaningful. It is an offering of vulnerability, a sign of trust, and a desire to be truly seen, not just with the eyes, but with the heart. In a way, it's where the ancient wisdom of the Stoics intersects with modern understanding, a pure, unfiltered connection that goes beyond the chaos of the world around us. As Marcus Aurelius aptly put it, the soul becomes dyed with the colour of its thoughts. When her thoughts are drawn to you, her eyes will reflect it. In other words, her gaze is a reflection of what is going on inside her, and if you're attuned enough, you'll see it. But here's the rub: you must be present. You can't afford to be distracted by your insecurities or consumed by desire. You must be grounded in your own sense of self, standing tall in the quiet confidence that comes from being at ease with who you are. Only then will you truly see the unspoken messages her eyes are conveying. When you feel that gaze, don't react with arrogance, nor let it stir up feelings of desperation. Instead, meet her eyes with composed awareness, calm in your understanding. Let your gaze mirror the same confidence, showing her that you, too, are secure in who you are. A soft smile, genuine and relaxed, will speak volumes in return, reinforcing the silent connection that is beginning to take shape. This is the essence of the blessing of Stoicism, being able to read the unspoken cues of the world around you and respond with the clarity and grace that comes from a mind at peace. At this moment, You are not trying to prove anything, nor are you attempting to control the situation. You are simply present, fully attuned to the exchange between the two of you. This is the blessing of Stoicism in practice, acting with awareness, responding with intent, and connecting with depth, rather than being swept up in the noise of modern life. You must understand that when her eyes meet yours in this way, it's not just an invitation, it's a silent plea for acknowledgement and connection. Don't squander it. Be present. You must know the power of what you are experiencing. It's a moment that reflects everything Stoicism teaches us: presence, composure, and the quiet strength to let your soul meet hers, unfiltered and real. Sign 4. Active listening and engaged responses. A woman who is truly into you doesn't just hear your words, she feels them. When she leans in, it's not because she's cold, but because your presence draws her in, like the warmth of a fire on a bitter winter day. In a world where distractions are endless, her focus stays fixed on you. Her eyes don't wander. Her attention doesn't drift. She nods thoughtfully, her body mirroring your gestures, and she laughs, not out of politeness, but because something deep inside her connects with what you're saying. That's not a coincidence. That's psychology in action, and it's a rare, powerful form of communication. The ancient Stoics understood this dynamic well. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the colour of its thoughts. When she listens to you with full presence, your thoughts are the paint, and she is allowing them to colour her world, if only for a moment." This isn't random, it's intentional, and it's potent. This is the foundation of a connection that goes beyond surface-level interaction. In a world dominated by constant scrolling and fleeting conversations, undivided attention is becoming a rare and precious form of intimacy. To engage with someone fully, without distractions, without rushing, without the urge to check your phone every few minutes, is to offer something that few people experience these days. And when she offers that attention to you, it's your cue to rise to the challenge. Will you meet it or fade away into the background? The true Stoic knows that attraction isn't about chasing. It's about attracting through presence, through being grounded, and through showing up fully in the moment, not through empty performance or desperate gestures. Don't think that you need to overtalk to keep her engaged. Don't feel the pressure to impress with your accomplishments or witty one-liners. Instead, what you need to do is listen, to be fully present, deeply attuned to what she's saying, and respond with intention. Look her in the eyes as she speaks, match her energy, stay rooted in the conversation, not drifting away into idle thoughts or distractions. Don't fall into the trap of relying on small talk. Instead, ask questions that reveal something deeper, questions that open the door to a woman's soul. Ask, what drives you, or what's something you believe in strongly but have never said aloud? These aren't questions you ask just to be polite. They're questions you ask because you want to know. That's where the real connection lives. Attraction doesn't flourish from tricks, smooth lines, or showing off. It grows in the soil of truth, in the quiet understanding that you are engaging with someone who feels heard, valued, and understood. When a woman feels like she's truly being listened to, something magical happens. She opens up in ways she never would otherwise. But here's the catch. You can't fake this. It's not about pretending to be interested for the sake of getting her attention. It's about genuinely being interested, not just in her words, but in her as a person. In those moments, when she's speaking and you're listening, you're engaging in one of the oldest and most meaningful forms of connection. This is the essence of what Stoic life teaches us: to stay present and rooted in the moment, no matter what's happening around us. The Stoic lessons are about embracing each interaction with intentionality, treating it with the importance it deserves. When you listen with your whole being, when you focus fully on what the other person is saying, you're not just hearing words, you're acknowledging that this moment, this exchange, matters. A woman who feels heard is a woman who will trust you with more. She will share parts of herself that might not be revealed to just anyone, and she'll respect the depth of connection that you've created together. In a world of distractions, be the man who listens, be the man who shows up with all of his attention, who doesn't rush or try to impress, but who is genuinely invested in the conversation. When you do, you will attract not just her attention, but her heart. And that is where the real power lies. It's not in chasing after something that's fleeting, but in attracting it by being the calm, present, and grounded man that Stoicism teaches us to be. Be rooted, be intentional, and in doing so, you will find a deeper connection, not only with her, but with the world around you. If you find today's content useful to you, don't forget to share your feelings and lessons with us, or simply comment, "Very cool." It's a great encouragement for our channel makers. Thank you very much. Sign 5. Playful teasing or flirting. When a woman begins to tease you, joke around, or challenge you with playful banter, it's more than just light-hearted fun. It's a subtle, calculated sign of interest. This is no mere randomness. It's charm in motion. The playful teasing, such as mocking you over something as trivial as who makes the better coffee, or debating which movie is overrated, signals a deeper connection. In this moment, she's testing the waters. You've captured her curiosity, and she's inviting you to step up. As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. The Stoic principle here is clear. Her playful nature reflects safety and comfort. She feels free around you, and that safety fuels her natural flirtation. It's not about winning or losing. It's an emotional handshake, a way for her to gauge your emotional strength, your grace under pressure, and your ability to connect. Teasing, at its core, is a psychological tool. It dismantles walls, speeds up rapport, and shows if you can handle tension without flinching. So, how do you handle it? Respond with the same energy, but don't take it too seriously. Avoid transforming the moment into a competition of wits. You're not there to outplay her. You're there to deepen the connection. Think of the Stoic teachings of Epictetus, who said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." When she teases, don't become defensive or overly analytical. Smile. Play along. If she jokes about your hairstyle, you might tease her about how many selfies it takes for her to find the perfect one. Keep it light. Keep it fun, but never cutting. In this moment, your emotional strength and confidence are on display. Stoic principles urge you to stay grounded, embrace the moment, let the tension flow, and demonstrate that you're in control. But be wary of overanalyzing every action. Stoicism teaches us to master our emotions and perceptions, not let them rule us. Just because a woman smiles or gives you a brief compliment doesn't always signify attraction. These small gestures could simply be politeness, not a sign of romantic intent. It's the cumulative pattern of behavior, not one isolated action, that reveals true interest. For instance, a smile combined with sustained eye contact, engaging conversation, and a deeper connection is far more telling than a casual, fleeting smile. Context is everything. Don't get lost in every individual action, as doing so will only breed unnecessary anxiety. Instead, keep your mind sharp, calm, and focused. Recognize when these subtle cues align and when they don't. Master your thoughts. Master your reactions. As a Stoic man, you are more than capable of handling these signals with ease and clarity. This is how you stay in control and navigate the dance of attraction with unwavering confidence. Sign 6. Subtle mirroring. In the realm of attraction, the subtle art of mirroring is a powerful indicator that a woman may be drawn to you. Mirroring occurs when someone unconsciously reflects the behavior, gestures, or speech patterns of another person, and it reveals a deep psychological connection. If a woman begins to mirror your movements, leaning in when you do, matching your posture, or adopting similar hand gestures while speaking, it is a clear signal that she is emotionally in sync with you. Her body naturally aligns with yours, as if it is instinctively drawn to your energy. This act, simple yet profound, signifies that there is an unspoken bond forming between you. You must recognize it. It's an early warning sign that she's into you, but don't mistake it for mere coincidence. The Stoic principles tell us that awareness is power. Marcus Aurelius once said, The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Recognizing such signs and taking them for what they are, unfiltered signals of attraction, is key. When you notice her mirroring your behavior, remain calm. Don't overanalyze it. Don't second-guess yourself. Let the flow of energy between you continue naturally. Feel the connection, breathe it in, and respond accordingly, grounded in the present. This isn't a time for hesitation or missteps. This is where you must remain steadfast. And here's a tip you can subtly mirror her as well. Don't force it, but allow it to unfold naturally, reinforcing that unspoken bond. By doing so, you signal back to her that you two are emotionally present, resonating on the same frequency. In modern life, it's easy to overcomplicate things, to second-guess every interaction, but you must remember attraction doesn't need to be a puzzle. Sometimes, it's simply about paying attention to the silent language between two people. When she mirrors your behavior, recognize it as a gift, not a mystery. This is not a time to retreat into doubt. It's a call to action. Embrace it. Confidence and awareness are your greatest allies in this subtle dance of attraction. Do not hesitate. Act decisively. The principles of the Stoics teach us that mastering our responses, particularly in the face of subtle signs like these, is a mark of true strength. Like Marcus Aurelius taught, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. So when you notice her mirroring you, be the man who knows exactly how to respond. Don't let such a moment pass by unnoticed. Seize it, understand it, and act with purpose. The signals are clear, recognize them, and step forward with the certainty of a man who knows how to read the room and respond accordingly. Sign 7. Playful challenges or pushing boundaries. When a woman playfully challenges you or pushes your boundaries in subtle, light-hearted ways, it's more than just teasing. It's one of the most powerful, yet often overlooked signs that she's interested in you. At first glance, it might seem like innocent banter, but there's a deeper layer beneath the surface. This behavior is rooted in curiosity, a desire to understand how you react when faced with a small bit of pressure or playful conflict. She may tease you, question your opinions, or throw out a challenge just to see how you respond. It's her way of testing your emotional strength and composure, watching to see if you can handle the tension without crumbling. But here's the catch. It's not about you being wrong or her trying to poke fun at you. It's about her seeing if you can hold your ground, remain confident, and not get rattled by light-hearted conflict. In a way, it's a game, and it's her way of determining whether you can bring the same strength and balance to her life as you would to a relationship. In those moments, she's not looking for you to be perfect. Instead, she's looking for your self-assurance, your emotional maturity, and your ability to navigate tension with a cool, calm demeanor. These little challenges are a way for her to learn if you possess the qualities that matter in a potential partner, whether you're a modern Stoic, someone who can handle conflict without overreacting, someone who is grounded enough to stay unshaken by small provocations. That is exactly what she's seeking, not a person who wilts under pressure, but someone who can calmly handle the storm. Now, how should you respond when this playful tension arises? The key here is simple. Don't take offense. Don't retreat into defensiveness or irritation. Instead, embrace the situation with confidence and humor and respond to her challenges in a way that shows you're unfazed, that you can roll with the punches and keep the mood light. Humor is an excellent tool here, but don't let it turn into sarcasm or an attempt to shut her down. Your goal is to keep things playful, but also to demonstrate that you are emotionally secure enough to not feel threatened by her playful pushes. This is an opportunity for you to prove that you're a person who can handle conflict, no matter how small or playful, with grace and maturity. It's about showing that you are self-assured, confident in your own skin, and not easily rattled by little jabs or challenges. Responding with this kind of emotional intelligence will not only create a positive impression, but it will also deepen the connection between the two of you. It shows her that you are secure in who you are, unshaken by minor tension, and able to maintain a light, playful atmosphere. When you meet her challenges with poise, you open the door to further playful exchanges, strengthening the bond you share. This is where the blessing of Stoicism comes into play, the ability to remain unruffled, composed, and unaffected by things that could easily provoke a reaction. You become the modern Stoic in action, a man who, like the ancient philosophers, knows that external events, especially minor ones, don't have to disturb his inner peace. This ability to respond with calm confidence can be magnetic and is often a quality that draws people in. So, when the next playful challenge comes your way, remember, it's not a test to win or lose. It's an opportunity to show your emotional maturity, your strength, and your ability to handle light tension without letting it throw you off balance. Meet her playful jabs with a knowing smile, a witty comeback, or a confident response that shows her you're secure and unbothered. This is where you get to demonstrate your true strength, which will make her not just appreciate you, but also respect you. And who knows, it may even lead to deeper, more meaningful exchanges as you continue to bond over these little playful moments. When you embody the qualities of a modern Stoic, confidence, emotional control, and self-assurance, you don't just survive these moments, you thrive in them. And in the end, that's what will make her think twice. And that's what will keep her coming back for more. Sign 8. Light and subtle compliments. When a woman is into you, the compliments she gives you often go beyond the obvious. They aren't just about how you look, but rather, they dive into your character, your personality, and the subtle yet profound impact you have on her life. These compliments are light, often understated, but their meaning runs deep. Instead of simply saying, "You look good," or "You're handsome," she might say something like, "I really admire how you handle situations with such calm," or "You always make me feel so comfortable." These are not just casual words. They are acknowledgements of the qualities that truly define who you are. What she's showing is not just appreciation for your appearance, but a deeper emotional attraction to your character. She's drawn to how you navigate life, how you handle pressure with poise, and how your presence makes her feel at ease. It's the kind of compliment that reveals something more than surface-level attraction. It's a sign of respect for your emotional maturity and the stability you bring into her world. She notices that you have qualities that are rare and valuable. These comments are not overtly flirtatious, but they carry weight, and that weight speaks volumes. She's telling you that she's emotionally invested in you and the way you operate. This is where the lessons of the Old Stoic come into play. You are more than just a face in the crowd. She recognizes the strength in your calmness and the quiet power of your composure. These are the Stoic lessons, the core of a Stoic life, responding to life's challenges with a peaceful, unwavering presence. How to respond to subtle compliments. When you receive such compliments, don't dismiss them or brush them aside. Don't be modest in a way that undermines what she's saying. You must accept these words with the respect they deserve. To dismiss a genuine compliment is to deny the connection she's offering. Acknowledge her words with a warm smile, a simple "thank you," and show appreciation for her recognition of who you truly are. It's not about arrogance. It's about being confident enough to accept the validation she's giving you. This response shows that you are not only self-assured, but also open to the deeper connections she's trying to foster. Responding with humility and quiet confidence sends a strong message. You understand the value of who you are and are grateful for her recognition. This doesn't mean you boast about your qualities. Rather, you must demonstrate that you are grounded in the Stoic life, aware of your strengths, but never overly proud. By accepting her compliment gracefully, you open the door for further emotional connection, and you give her the opportunity to continue sharing more of herself with you. When you respond with sincere gratitude, it encourages an atmosphere of positivity and trust. In fact, such interactions often serve as the foundation for deeper exchanges and help build an emotional bridge between you. This kind of connection isn't something to rush. You don't need to force anything. Simply be present, be genuine, and allow her to continue showing her admiration. Over time, these subtle moments build a stronger bond, one rooted in mutual respect and shared emotional understanding. The art of responding to these subtle compliments is another example of Stoicism in action. It's about balance. You don't seek attention, but when it comes to you, you embrace it with grace. In Stoicism, we learn not to chase external validation, but when it's offered, we accept it without vanity, just as the old Stoic masters taught us, being able to receive compliments without overreacting, neither dismissing them nor inflating your ego, shows emotional strength and maturity. That is the hallmark of a Stoic man, self-assured but never boastful. So, the next time she gives you that subtle compliment, whether it's about how you handle stress, how you make her feel safe, or how you carry yourself with a quiet dignity, don't let it slip by. Respond with the appreciation it deserves, showing that you understand the deeper value of her words. You are not just the man she finds physically attractive, but the one whose inner qualities resonate deeply with her. This is where the Stoic lessons come into play, showing that you've mastered the art of being present, humble, and confident. You're not just any man. You're the kind of man who embodies the wisdom of Stoicism, calm, composed, and deeply attractive on a level that goes far beyond the surface. Hey everyone, I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Remember, understanding these signs isn't about overthinking or reading too much into every little detail. It's about being aware of the little things that might show she's interested. The most important piece of advice I can give you is be confident, but genuine. If you're uncertain about where you stand, the simplest and most effective thing you can do is just ask. There's no harm in being upfront, and often it will give you the clarity you're looking for. So, whether it's making eye contact, feeling a playful tease, or noticing how she prioritizes time with you, don't second-guess yourself. Confidence is the key to building a connection. Keep it respectful, straightforward, and true to who you are. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more content. Take care and good luck out there.